And we welcome you to Memorial Gardens. For the first time in 7 years, the North Bay Battalion are hosting a game in the Eastern Conference Final. The battle for the Bobby Orr Trophy continues tonight in North Bay, and the Battalion need a big win. It's Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final, as the Battalion are challenged by the Hamilton Bulldogs, who took advantage of playing at home in the first 2 games. Both won handily and put North Bay in a real tough spot, up 2-0 in the best of 7. Of note, Mitchell Russell not in the lineup tonight. We'll talk about that. I'm Bob Coles with Derek Lindeman and Courtney Kenny. And a big win for the Battalion is needed here in front of the home fans. And that's one lineup note we'll address. We'll also tell you who's in net tonight. And Hamilton is very healthy, as they had a healthy unit for the first 2 games and no big changes for them. Let's bring in Derek Lindeman. And Derek, I thought Game 1 North Bay was more of a, they tried to outskate Hamilton in Game 1. That didn't work. Game 2 was more of a physical game, and Hamilton really took advantage of North Bay's undisciplined play. 5 power plays, they scored on 2 of them and coasted to a 5-0 shutout win. So where do the Battalion go from here down 2-0 in the series?
It's tough to really say where you go. The key tonight is to getting off to that hot start, play a solid 60 minutes, and try and get that first goal. If you can play from ahead against this Hamilton Bulldogs team, make them chase a bit and just take away with their time and space. Try and play a clean game. As you said, stay out of the penalty box. Hamilton comes in scoring on 39.62% of their power play, so almost 4 out of every 10 opportunities.
Yeah, Hamilton really blowing you away with their depth, their big defense, their outstanding goaltending, and North Bay really struggled in some areas. Let's talk about Mitchell Russell, and a little shock went through the North Bay yesterday when it was reported that Mitchell Russell is out indefinitely with an upper body injury. So what does that mean as far as the Battalion lineup is concerned?
Well, first off the bat, you're losing 22 points in Mitchell Russell. He's leading the team in scoring through the first 11 games of this playoffs. Hasn't picked up a point against Hamilton, but what it means is we're going to only see 11 forwards dressed tonight, as nobody is here to take the place of Mitchell Russell, as Owen Atwater is still out with an injury. So Petrov will be moving to that top line, and that will be centered by Jackson and Brandon Coe down the right-hand side. So just a little bit of changes as Tarasevich, Wakely, and Potaloo will now make up the third line, and just rotating of players through that fourth line with Romani and Sima. Coming into the lineup, though, Alexander Lukin will be back in, and they'll have 7 defense dressed for the Battalion tonight.
Yeah, I guess if you can play defense, you're playing tonight, right?
Hopefully, and that's the key, is try and keep your defense healthy and fresh, because they got a lot of work to do against this talented and deep Hamilton Bulldog lineup. Well,
the advantages of 11 forwards is you're getting extra shift with your top guy now. You may see Romani and Sima are on the fourth line, and you may see they'll have different line mates tonight at various times, right? You can see him playing with Brandon Coe, you can see him playing with Matvei Petrov, so that's an advantage. It's tough, though, for the defense, right? Because, you know, you're going to try to keep Winslow and Nelson together, and Christopoulos and Mathurin, but you could see some odd pairings as the game develops because you're trying to get everyone in the game.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how much ice time Gover or Lukin are going to get in this game tonight, being kind of that 6th defenseman between the two of them. So if you're getting basically 1 shift every 6 shifts, it's hard to stay in a game and get your legs going. Quite curious how they use those 2 in this lineup tonight. But yeah, we talked about maybe double shifting your top guys, Jackson, Coe. McDonald even might get some extra time. He's 6 goals on the playoffs already. He's a talented player that deserves some extra ice time.
Of course, Grayson Ladd did play in Game 2. He didn't play in Game 1, so that's good news on the back end. The goaltending story, Derek, and then we'll bring in Courtney to talk about what he noticed in Game 2, as it was the game day broadcast that was in Hamilton for that game. DiVincentis is in. He played Game 2. Surprised with going with DiVincentis again?
Not really surprised. I think he suits this Hamilton Bulldog team a little bit better in net. Hamilton likes to move the puck east-west, and that's something that I think DiVincentis is a little bit better in goal than Verbetic, because he moves a little bit stronger from his right to left. He's a little bit better at the battling pucks and making sure that he stays in the play at all times. I think he just gives them a little bit different edge than Verbetic does in goal.
And let's bring in Courtney. Courtney, you did the game on Sunday, a 5-0 Hamilton win, as we mentioned earlier, and you must have been blown away by the quality of the Hamilton Bulldogs. I mean, the depth up front, the tough physical defense, and obviously Constantini was stellar in net. So what did you come away from in game two that could play a role here tonight?
Well, in that game it was neat because where you are in the broadcast booth, they call it the gondola there, and for good reason, because you're up in the rafters. You got to remember, this rink was built to be an NHL rink, so there's two bulls, and you're up there really high. And honestly, it's a little bit tough to see the players, but you can see the play develop. You can really see it without having to look all over the place. And what you saw there was basically, there was 2 black jerseys for every white jersey, basically. Anytime that the puck was near a white jersey, there's 2 black jerseys right on them right away. They didn't give North Bay time to breathe. They suffocated them through the neutral zone. And basically, the shots were almost even. But North Bay's shot attempts, and not that I want to take away from Costantini because he's a great goalie, but their shots were easy saves. They were from the perimeter. They were one and done. Hamilton really did a good job of only allowing them one chance, clearing out in front of the net. Whereas when they went to the North Bay end, Hamilton did a really good job of playing that cycle gang and really getting a lot of chances and secondary chances on DiVincentis. And another thing too, you got to watch out for the power play. 2 power plays in that game. 2 of their power play goals came with only 7 seconds with the man advantage. So.
Yeah, very lethal, and some undisciplined play by North Bay's captain in both games that really cost the Battalion, especially late in periods. What I was blown away with the first 2 games was they play like a team that is trying to get respect, Hamilton. It's sort of odd. They're the number 1 ranked team in the country, but they do play that way, don't they? They play physical. They grind out shifts in the offensive zone. They're tough to just push off the puck in their own zone when you get it there. This is not that North Bay is not a well-coached team, because North Bay is a well-coached team, but they sort of they play above their weight, don't they, in terms of they play like they're a team that's trying to make the playoffs, and yet here they are, number 1 in the country.
Well, and that's part of it. So I had the fortune of sitting in for the press conferences with Ryan Houlihan, Mitchell Russell, and then, of course, Jay McKee and Ryan Winterton for the Hamilton side. And Jay McKee kept hammering home the fact that they really respect North Bay. They're not taking anything for granted, and I think you see that with their play. Like you said, they're playing like a desperate hockey team that wants to make the playoffs. They're not taking this North Bay team lightly. They're not giving them the chances. Because if you make a mistake with North Bay, we saw it in game 1 in the first period. It was a 1-1 game at the end of it until Arnsby unfortunately took that penalty. But you make a mistake, Coe goes down and scores. North Bay's still a lethal team. The question is, will they have enough chances to get back into the series? But that's the thing with Hamilton, like you said. Yeah, they're playing with a lot of desperation in their game, and like a lower level team looking to get in and get a sniff at the playoffs. Whereas the Bulldogs are the number 1 ranked team in Canada, which is wild to think about.
And game 1 was interesting. It was more of a skating game, not as much hitting. And in game 2, there was a lot of, some bad blood came out in various parts of the game.
We saw Govro and Duarte at the end of the first period drop the mitts. So
yeah, I was going to ask you, do you think that's going to continue tonight, or it's going to go back to what we saw in game 1?
I think North Bay is going to come out like a team with a bee in their bonnet. I think they're very upset with the way that the first 2 games went. Even though Ryan sits there and says, he's optimistic and there's things to take from his game that he likes. When you're outscored 10-2 over 2 games, you got to be angry coming home. Like, come on. Like, I don't care whether or not there are positives, because there are a few positives to take. You got to outscore 10-2. You got to be angry. You got to come out here I think the Battalion are going to try and push their weight around. And the one thing that we're going to have to key in on, Liam Arnsby, like you mentioned, love the kid. He's a great captain on this team, but he's got to play mature. He can't run around, recklessly like we saw like a Mike Baird do years ago or something and take silly penalties like he has earlier in the series. And if North Bay can stay out of the box but play with that edge, it'll be a different game.
Well, we've seen, Derek, Mitchell Russell's been the leader on the ice for the Battalion, as well as one of the two leaders on this team are Mitchell Russell and Brandon Coe. With no Mitchell Russell tonight, it really falls on Brandon Coe, doesn't it, to sort of lead the way here for North Bay as they face it's not a must-win, but it's a must-win.
It is definitely a must-win in my eyes for this North Bay Battalion team. You never want to lose on home ice in any series, and falling down 3-0, just you're digging yourself a bigger hole to get out of. But Brandon Coe, he's a guy that can step up and carry this team on his shoulders. He's got the size and the speed to go wide, take that puck hard to the net, and cause havoc in goal for Constantini.
Well, it should be interesting what happens with the Battalion tonight, whether they maintain that physical pressure that they try to employ in Game 2, or they try to outscore them. But I'll tell you, Courtney, Hamilton's a team that they're tough to outscore, right? They don't give up a lot, and you really got to take advantage. So I guess it really falls on North Bay. Get that first goal, play with a lead, which they haven't been able to do.
No, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, North Bay has not led whatsoever in this series. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to find that extra gear and lead. And it would be interesting to look into it the last time that Hamilton trailed a hockey game. It's been a while since they've lost a hockey game. I'm sure it's been almost just as long where they've trailed a hockey game. So get them off their game. If you can score that first goal, I mean, in the regular season, the Battalion were 26-6-1 when scoring the first goal. So, but another thing of note as well, the troops have lost, they've been a hot team too coming into this. They've only lost 4 games in regulation over the past 29 contests. All 4 of those games, Bob, coming against these Bulldogs.
And Derek, they've had an extra day, right? 2 days between games. What role do you think that's going to play tonight?
It just gave you an extra day for the coaching staff to try and find a way to disrupt the momentum the Hamilton Bulldogs have right now. They come in winning 10 straight games in the playoffs, 20 straight games dating back to March 27th. The Battalion, they have to find a way to play their game, get that lead, and play with the lead, and just plug up the middle of the ice, not let Hamilton get through that middle at all.
Okay, this is the game day broadcast of North Bay Battalion Hockey. We've been with you all year. We're here tonight for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final as the troops have skated onto the ice. We'll be with you on Friday night for Game 4, and we hope to be getting in the car to go to Hamilton for Game 5 on Sunday night. So, but that all depends on the Battalion if they can get a win here on home ice. Again, North Bay going with 11 forwards, 7D. Mitchell Russell not in the lineup, so that's a big role to fill. Dom DiVincentis gets the start in net, and Constantini on the other side. He's been tremendous. And Derek, one more comment from you. They've got so much depth up front, don't they? I mean, it hasn't been Mason McTavish. It's been Hayes who dominated the first 2 games.
It definitely has. You look at those top 3 centers, Morrison, McTavish, Misak. There's 3 guys that definitely have their eyes on making it to the NHL. Then you got Hayes, Winterton, just throughout the lineup. They got a quality team, depth, and they're big and strong.
Okay, Matt Sucru not with us tonight, so Courtney's got the play-by-play. Derek's doing double duty, doing the color commentary. I'm Bob Coles, and we'll throw it to them as we get set for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final.
Thanks a lot, Bob Coles. Looking forward for catching up with you in the first intermission. We'll now go down the ice level and listen to the national anthem.
For the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love.
And we're moments away from puck drop here in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Championship. The Hamilton Bulldogs come into Memorial Gardens to take on the North Bay Battalion, leading 2-0. Taking a look at the starting goaltenders tonight. Starting for the Hamilton Bulldogs is Marco Constantini. He comes in with a perfect 10-0 record, 2 shutouts, a 170 goals against average, and a 936 save percentage. And getting the start for the North Bay Battalion is number 31, Dom DeVincentis. He comes in with a record of 2-1-1, a 314 goals against average, and an 898 save percentage. Now let's bring in Courtney Kenny, who has the call of tonight's game. Courtney, take us through the puck drop.
Thank you very much, Derek, and of course Bob for the pregame comments. We're getting pretty amped here at North Bay Memorial Gardens as we get set for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the North Bay Battalion and the Hamilton Bulldogs. The Bobby Orr Trophy is on the line as Liam Arnsby and Mason McTavish get ready for the opening face-off. And they just wait for the tank to get off the ice now. And it looks like we're set for puck drop. And the Bulldogs get it back to their blue line. They're in their road whites going left to right. And the Battalion in their home greens going right to left in this one. And there we got our Go Troops Go chant here going early as McTavish takes it into the Troops zone. But he's thwarted by Paul Christopoulos, who takes Thomas into the boards hard. Winterton now behind the net to Thomas. Back to the blue line. That's Grishnikov over to White. White takes the shot, but is blocked in front by Winterton, I believe. And now we have a bit of a pile up here in the corner. Arnsby tries to come away with it. He's just looking to get some options up ice. He gets it to Van Steensel as the identity line starts this one. And he dumps it in, and that line goes for a change as Costantini plays it off the end boards. McDonald chasing after the puck. He dumps it back in, but it doesn't get any further than Hayes. Hayes, who torched the Battalion in games 1 and 2. He's a dangerous contributor, so we'll watch out for him. Nelson on the ice gets his first touch, leaves it for Petrov, who then passes it back to Winslow. Winslow back to Nelson, over to Coe. And Coe's pass goes through the middle to Humphrey, but Humphrey just gets it back to his own zone. Kramer, the captain of the Bulldogs, back to his D partner of Jack-Eye. Jack-Eye, the Canadians prospect, comes over the blue line and rips a shot. And DeVincentis makes a low glove save at the top of his crease. And that'll be our first stoppage in play, 1 minute and 14 seconds in. Derek?
Keys to tonight's game for the North Bay Battalion are score that first goal and try and get that 7th man into this crowd early. Take away the middle of the ice, clog it up, and not let any traffic go through, and try and keep lanes open, allowing Dom DeVincentis to see those shots coming in from the outside if they can.
Well, and that's what the Bulldogs did so well in games 1 and 2, is clogging up the middle of the ice. And now we'll see what happens here in this one with the Battalion getting last change, as we see Mathurin and Ladd out there now. So already mixing up the D partners a little bit as Tarasevich is knocked down at his own blue line. And now it's Shirk with the puck. Tries to get across ice, but Tarasevich is on that one. Tarasevich knocks it out, and it's Diaco who chases after it into the neutral zone. Diaco first on it. And it's been a bit of a game of keep away so far through the first 2 minutes of this game. With the Battalion not really getting much puck time, and if they do, they're just trying to get it out of their zone. Ladd to Podolou. Podolou carries it up and out of over the blue line, up to Tarasevich. Tarasevich stopping up, he takes the shot, and Costantini blocks it away. Govro now gets his first touch. He dumps it in for Tarasevich to go after, and Tarasevich leaves it for Shirk behind his net. Shirk leaves it for his demon. It's Donovan. Donovan didn't play in game 2. He's out there here as an extra defenseman for the Bulldogs. Over to Van Vliet. Sims loses the handle on it, and Biondi sends it in. Duarte and Govro now in the corner. Those two are familiar with each other after dropping the gloves in game 2. And the puck gets up to Sims at the blue line, but no further. Sims now gives it off to Petrov. And Christopoulos over the blue line. He tries to take a long shot, but Van Vliet gets it. Back to Petrov. Petrov takes a shot, and Matvey Petrov scores! The North Bay Battalion lead game 3, 1-0, just under 3 minutes into the game.
Petrov with his second goal of the playoffs gets the troops on the board. 2:42 into this first period. Just what the doctor orders, that early goal, getting the 7th man into it. This crowd is loud, and what a shot by Petrov, using the Hamilton player as a screen and shooting it low blocker side, beating Constantini's short side, and the Troops have a 1-0 lead here in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Championships.
And that's what you're going to have to do, is take those shots, get those chances, because the Bulldogs aren't going to give you much. And the Battalion have their first lead since Game 5 against the Kingston Frontenacs, in which they eliminated the Frontenacs. And quickly the puck's back into the Bulldog zone. Grushnikov being taken to the boards by McDonald, who gets it down and behind the Bulldogs net. Arnsby leaves it for Mathurin. Mathurin takes a shot. It goes wide. Ladd now with a shot. Costantini blocks it away. Bulldogs now up the ice. McTavish gets it to Winterton. Now McTavish in the corner. Out to Grushnikov. Grushnikov takes the shot. And DiVincentis either got a piece of it or it just went high. Puck back to McTavish. McTavish takes a shot. It goes wide of the net and out of play. So it's 1-0 North Bay. Shots on goal. 3-2 in favor of the Battalion.
We were wondering how the Battalion were going to juggle the 11 forwards. And there, on that goal, we got to see the first time on the ice Romani and Sima. And who picked up that second shift of the night was Matvei Petrov, being double shifted early on in this first period and coming away with that go-ahead goal as the Battalion lead here, just over 3 minutes gone in the first period.
Winslow in his own zone over to Petrov. Petrov goes cross ice for Coe, but it's just out of his reach, and the Bulldogs recover. Kramer in his own zone. He looks up ice for Morrison. Morrison, another deadly customer for the Bulldogs, loses the handle of it for Winslow, and Winslow just chips it off the glass and down the ice for Kramer to go after. Kramer to his partner Jackeye. Jackeye, although you wouldn't think that's how his name is pronounced when you read it on paper, gets the puck down to the Battalion zone. Humphrey nearly got his pocket picked on the far side half wall, and now Coe comes away with it. Coe to Petrov. He tries to get it up ice, but Humphrey's there to block that pass. Hayes back into the Battalion zone. Goes back for McTavish, or Humphrey rather, and the shot goes high and wide. Humphrey in the far side corner. Back to the point. Grushnikov dumps it in, and it's off the blocker of DiVincentis, and a secondary attempt goes wide, and then a very obvious trip there against Jackson, and the Battalion don't get the call. Wakely got a touch of it. He's through the neutral zone. Grushnikov gets it back up quickly. Hayes going through the neutral zone. Once again, Dipsy doodles around a few people. But Winslow comes away with it. Now it's Podolou and Tarasevich going the other way. Tarasevich taken into the boards by a hip check of Grushnikov. And he's taken off the puck. And now an elbow of Wakely gets up in the face of White. And the puck's into the corner. Both teams getting away with a few calls here early. And now it's White who comes away with the puck and skates it out of his own zone. Up the ice to Shirk. Shirk takes down Christopoulos. And the puck's down the corner for Diaco. Diaco nearly gets his pocket picked by Wakely, who scored a goal in game 1 of this one. And now it's back to Diaco. Donovan gets it up ice. Shirk tries to get a little pass across ice. And Diaco has to go after it in the corner. Mathurin loses it to Shirk. It goes out to the blue line. Jackeye takes the shot. It goes wide off a body in front. Kramer picking it up. Gets it back to Diaco at the point. And now Podolou in the corner with it. Podolou looks up ice. And he gets it up to Sima, but Sima wasn't ready for it. So it's Jackeye who recovers in the Bulldog zone. Diaco, he's been out there for a long shift. He skates it into the Battalion zone. And a couple of Battalion jerseys are able to get the puck off of him. And Sima now behind his net with it, or Lukin rather. Lukin up the ice to Mathurin. Mathurin decides to go for that active kick plate, and Sima goes in for it. And now he's given a bit of a shut to Kramer, but instead it's an icing call with 13:55 left in the first against the Battalion.
Very questionable icing call there, as Sima looked to be having the advantage going into that to get the puck. But one of the big advantages when you look on paper of these two teams is Hamilton only has 2 real rookies in their lineup, and that being White and Donovan being that 6th and 7th defenseman, and we'll touch on the rookies shortly with the Battalion.
Yep, the Battalion are certainly the team that's built more for the future, and the Bulldogs are built for the season as they get the puck through the neutral zone. Winterton leaves it for McTavish, but he overskates it. And it's back into the neutral zone for Donovan to chase after one of the aforementioned rookies. He gets it up to Thomas. Thomas carries it in. McTavish now tries to get around Ladd, but he can't. Ladd promptly loses the puck to Thomas, and it's back to the blue line for Van Vliet. Van Vliet, he goes back to the blue line. Now he's changed spots with McTavish, and now McDonald's off to the races. Kyle McDonald with the shot, and what a save by Costantini, as the Battalion came away with a grade A scoring chance there, as McDonald was in all alone, but McTavish was hot on his heels. Shots are 4-4, and of course we get a little bit of a after whistle scrum, Derek. So these two teams renewing hostilities.
McDonald just intercepting that pass at his own blue line, setting up that breakaway opportunity. Probably didn't realize he had a little bit more room between him and Constantini, taking that shot off fairly quickly and square into the chest of that Hamilton Bulldogs logo. Unfortunately, making that easy save.
Bulldogs win the draw in their own zone, and the puck gets up to Humphrey, who takes a hit from Nelson. Coe recovers the puck, gets it to Petrov, who tries to get up to Coe. It's over to Coe, but it was offside. A very close call there, but Coe was indeed offside, Derek.
Yes, he was. And when you look at that 04-05 class that we talked about, Hamilton only having 2 players, you look on the opposite side, the Battalion have 9 dressed in today's lineup, and 7 of those guys are getting significant minutes here playing in tonight's Game 3.
You have to think that's going to be awful lot of good experience for those players moving forward, playing in these big minute games, as Winslow gets the puck in his own zone and gets it up to Petrov at the near side half wall. Petrov, number 22, loses it to the Bulldogs 22, Humphrey. But Petrov tries to recover. Morrison gets the puck back to Kramer. And now Jackson tries to skate past Kramer, but he just bats the puck down the ice, and it's going to go for icing.
Yeah, icing here, 12:34 remaining in this first period of play as the North Bay Battalion have a 1-0 lead on a goal by Matvei Petrov, his second of this OHL playoff series. But just talking about how this Hamilton Bulldog is built, we know the OHL is a 19-year-old league, and that's exactly what this Hamilton Bulldogs team has done. They've built their team based on some strong 19-year-olds.
Quick call here off the draw, and it looks like the Battalion are going to get their first power play of this one.
McTavish going to the box, 2 minutes for a roughing here. 12:29 remaining in this first period of play as the North Bay Battalion go on their first power play. This power play is proudly sponsored by the 7N1D Noah Strong campaign. Go check them out at noahstrong.ca and see what they're up to in the community. All money raised stays locally and helps out in this great community. North Bay Battalion come in with a power play percentage of 34.29%, so not too shabby themselves, just scoring on average just 1 over every 3 power plays.
Shirk loses his helmet off the draw, so quickly North Bay has a 2-man advantage for a few seconds. Jackson carries it out, and from the near side faceoff dot, takes the shot. Costantini's glove was good on that one. And interesting on this power play, Derek, the Battalion power play has been lethal. They scored 1 goal so far in the series, but Arnsby's out there replacing Mitch Russell.
Yeah, I like Arnsby out there. He's one that will go to that front of the net, cause havoc, and not be afraid to stand his ground trying to take away any sidelines for Constantini.
Jackson looking to win the draw, but he can't. As Shirk's back out there now as he got his helmet back, and the Bulldogs promptly dump it down the ice for Divinchentis to play. Nelson picking it up. Of course, he's going to go for the drop pass with Coe, because that seems to be a trademark. And now Brandon Coe skating it into the Bulldog zone for Petrov. Matvei Petrov, the goal scorer for the Troops, carries it in the near side corner. He tries to get it out front. It hits Costantini's stick and goes back into the corner. And now the Bulldogs have a makeshift 2-on-1. Shirk goes cross ice for Hayes. Hayes takes the shot, and it's a shorthanded goal. And the Bulldogs tie this one up. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Hayes with his 6th goal of this playoff season, his 4th against this North Bay Battalion team in 3 games, as Hayes picks up the shorty here. 11:46 remaining in this first period of play, and he's tied up the score at 1-1. Great 2-on-1 play as Shriek sends it over to Hayes, and he goes in all alone, putting it over the shoulder of Dom DeVincentis, who goes down to his knees, as we have a small discussion before play gets put back underway. just want to mention that all goals and entries in the third round of this playoff series will be reviewed in Toronto, so there could be a little bit of delay between face-offs if a goal does occur.
McDonald in the Bulldogs zone gets it back to Winslow at the point. Winslow to Ladd, quickly touches it off to Wakely. Wakely tried to get it out front for Van Steensel, and now it's in the corner. Puck goes up and over the glass, and we'll get another stoppage and play with 1 minute left on the man advantage for the Battalion. We've seen it all year. The Battalion are prone to giving up a shorthanded goal, Derek, and we just saw one there, of course.
Yeah, Hamilton, they like to jump those exits, and that's exactly what they did. Hayes recognized that there was going to be an opportunity, so he left the zone as soon as he realized that there was going to be a chance for that 2-on-1, and that's what they do. They capitalize, and the Battalion seem to give up those opportunities on the power play.
Jack-Eye dumps the puck down the ice for DiVincentis to get behind his net. DiVincentis gives it promptly to Winslow. Winslow with some speed out of his zone, passes it off to McDonald, who dumps it into the Bulldog zone, and Winslow chases after it. Winslow taken hard into the boards by Kramer, but Wakely gets it, and then he's taken down by Jack-Eye. Van Steensel back to the point for Ladd. Ladd back over to McDonald. McDonald looking to go cross ice for Winslow, who's streaking in, and Duart's going to block that, and now we're going to have another shorthanded attempt for the Bulldogs here, but it rolls off the stick of Shirk, and he promptly loses a tire there and goes hard into the boards. Ladd with 15 seconds left on the man advantage. He leaves it back for Petrov, and Petrov missed that one, so he has to go back to pick it up. 8 seconds left now on the man advantage. Petrov carries it in. Petrov looking to go behind the net. He does. He switches spots with Mathurin. He's just skating it around the Bulldog zone, leaves it for Coe. Coe gets it back for Christopoulos, and McTavish is out of the box. And it goes back to McTavish. McTavish stops up. He tries to get the pass through Mathurin's feet, but it's off Mathurin's skates. And we're going to get a stoppage and play. And it looks like we're getting an interference call now, likely against Mathurin, I would imagine.
Brandon Cole going to the penalty box.
Oh, really?
Didn't really see that happen, so just curious of where that was on the ice, as it looked like it was away from the puck. But with 10:16 remaining in the first period, the Hamilton Bulldogs will get a power play advantage. As we talked in the pre-game show, they're pretty lethal on the power play, picking up goals on 39.62% of their opportunities. So almost a goal every 4 out of 10 power plays for the Hamilton Bulldogs.
And the Battalion penalty kill has suffered at 77.42% as well. So as we get underway here, Arnsby losing the draw, and Morrison gets it back to White. Back to Morrison. Morrison back to White at the point, and White's just going to look for some more options. He gets it quickly over to McTavish, whose stick explodes, and he's going to miss it. But on his way back to the bench, he kicks it back in, keeping it onside for the Bulldogs. Morrison back to McTavish. McTavish takes the shot. It's off Van Steensel's stick and goes high and out of White. Back to White now at the blue line. White over to Morrison. Quickly over cross ice to McTavish, who tries a pass. There's no one there back door for the Bulldogs. White to Morrison, back to White again. White with a quick shot from McTavish and a block by Van Steensel that really hobbled him. We'll hope that he's okay. White now back at the point with it. Looks for McTavish again with another block shot by Van Steensel. White back to Morrison. Back to White at the point. White looks to try and get it back to Morrison, who almost loses the puck to Ladd. And now Morrison goes for a skate along the blue line. McTavish now takes the quarterback position, gives it to Morrison, who is another shot blocked by Van Steensel. And the puck comes out with 48 seconds left on the penalty kill, and McTavish looks to get it back quickly. McTavish gets it into the zone for Winterton, and Christopoulos tries to swipe at it. Wakely fans on the clearing attempt, and McTavish picks it back up on the far side corner. Hayes at the point, loses the puck to Wakely, and he's just able to bat it on down the ice, and that'll kill some more precious time for the Battalion with 25 seconds left now. Morrison quickly to Mysick. Mysick takes the shot. DiVincentis stops that one, and Nelson comes out and tries to get it out, but it's off Jack-Eye's stick, and it goes back into the neutral zone. 13 seconds now left on the penalty kill for the Battalion. Jack-Eye lumbering into the Battalion zone. He loses the puck to Mathurin. Mathurin looks to go up ice, but he fans on the dump out again, and Jack-Eye's going to recover in the far side corner. Jack-Eye and Nelson collide. It comes out front, a quick shot by the Bulldogs, and now Brandon Coe comes out of the penalty box. So Battalion doing a good job of killing that one off, and you got to give grade A props to Owen Van Steensel on that one. Kyle Jackson He gets it in the Bulldog zone. He tries to flutter it in on net for Coe and Nelson to go after, where the Bulldogs recover. Out to the neutral zone for Winslow. Winslow just looks to go cross ice and dump it in, and Donovan picks it up. Kramer off the pass from Donovan. It's up to Mysick, to Diaco. Diaco now stood up at the Battalion blue line by Govro, and Donovan has to go after it. 7:38 now left in the first period, and Thomas is going to tip it into the Battalion zone for DiVincentis. Govro looking up ice for Sema. So that's going to go the length of the ice. No icing call though. And the puck's back out into the neutral zone for Duarte. Duarte looks to dump it in, and Sims chases after it. It's back out front, and now Romani's quickly on the attack. Romani and Grushnikov, but Romani's just going to dump it in, and Grushnikov's going to stand him up and not let him get any footing past him. And Van Vliet picks it up behind his net. Puck dumped back out into the neutral zone. Ladd quickly on it for Sema, who takes a big hit from Duarte, but it looked like Duarte got the worst of it. And now coming in is Biondi with a quick shot, and he's taken down. Potaloo, he's going to go cross ice with it. Van Vliet's going to be the first one on it. And he's going to get to Grushnikov. Quickly up the ice to McTavish, who now has the puck with a sharp angle shot. DiVincentis is going to hold on to that one, and that'll bring us to our mid-period break with 6:32 left in the first period, and we'll bring back in Mr. Bob Coles. Bob?
Thank you very much, Courtney. Yes, entertaining period. North Bay did what they had to do. They opened the scoring, got that first goal, and then they had a chance on the power play to go up by 2, but they give up the shorthanded goal, and it looked like Hamilton had the momentum. And then a big penalty kill by the Battalion to keep the game tied at 1, and that's where we are right now. Coming up in the first intermission, we'll talk about the other series going on in the OHL between Flint and Windsor, and we'll talk about this first period. The positives and negatives for the Battalion, who are tied with the Hamilton Bulldogs 1-1. And this is game 3. The Bulldogs up 2-0, so North Bay really needing a win tonight. Back to the boys in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Bob, and looking forward to catching up again with you in the first intermission. Yes, one other game on tap tonight in the Western Conference. Game 3 going on there in Flint, as the Windsor Spitfires and Flint Firebirds are tied at 1 game apiece. But here at Memorial Gardens, the North Bay Battalion and Hamilton Bulldogs are tied at 1 goal apiece. 6:36 remaining in the first period of play as we prepare to get this second half of the first period underway. Puck drop coming to the right-hand side of Dom DiVincentis. Now, Courtney Kenny, take us through the final 6:36 of this first period.
Thank you very much, Derek, as we get Arnsby and McTavish on the face-off dot, much like the opening draw. And it's back to Winterton at the point to Donovan. Donovan gets it into Thomas, who's taken a few hits from the stick of Christopoulos, who now pins it up against the boards in the near side corner. Puck comes loose, though, and goes all the way out to the neutral zone. Van Steensel chases after it. Well, White's going to get to it first, and it's going to go for icing. So another face-off coming to the Battalion zone, but Van Steensel's trying to plead his case a little bit.
Yeah, you talk about Owen Van Steensel, and let's talk about that last power penalty kill that the North Bay Battalion had. Owen Van Steensel blocking 3 shots, tough ones, off of the stick of Mason McTavish. Almost looked like he was identified as that person to stick with Mason McTavish and go wherever he did. He didn't leave McTavish's side for any length of time, knowing that the Bulldogs like to work their power play through big number 23, Mason McTavish.
And why wouldn't you? Canadian Olympian, pretty good at hockey. Hayes with a quick shot off the draw. And the Bulldogs go up 2-1.
Talk about Avery Hayes again being a Battalion killer. Second goal of the game, his 5th goal of this series, and 7 goals in this playoffs as he's done most of the damage here against this North Bay Battalion. Just quickly off of the face-off, the Battalion win the draw, get it back to Hayes, who makes no mistake beating Dom DiVincentis. 6:12 remaining in this first period. Now the Bulldogs have their first lead of the game, 2-1 over the North Bay Battalion.
Winslow now coming over to have some words with the linesman.
There's still, I think it goes back to the icing call, how the Battalion feel that they missed that icing, that the puck was touched, and it looks like Card is getting a lot of attention there from Avery Winslow as we still wait for the thumbs up, and we finally get it from the guys in the booth. So that is a good goal. 2-1, Hamilton Bulldogs now lead the North Bay Battalion.
Well, the Battalion had the lead in this game for all of 5 or 6 minutes. But that's 5 or 6 minutes more than they've had all series, so props to them on that so far. And now Potaloo at the neutral zone just dumps it in and takes a high hit from Humphrey. Jackeye in his own zone. Loses the handle of it, and Potaloo's going to come and play it, but Morrison will pick that up as he tried to pass it to Tarasevic. Tarasevic trying to come away with it, loses to Kramer. And now it's Humphrey up the ice to Hayes, the goal scorer. Hayes, back to Morrison. Back to Kramer, who gets to Grushnikov. Grushnikov gets it behind the net to Hayes, who tries to do a one-touch pass to Humphrey out front. And it's going to go back into the corner. Van Vliet gets it up to Humphrey. Puck, and Humphrey just taken into the boards by Potaloo. Now Winslow gets the puck up to Nelson. Nelson looking to take a puck and go for a bit of a skate with it. Loses the race to Van Vliet, and both go flying into the corner. And the puck continues to go out for Coe. Gets across ice to Petrov, who takes a shot. And Costantini got a piece of that one. Hayes quickly up to Diaco. Diaco carries it in with some speed. He gets it up to Misek now. Misek comes out, tries to jam it past DiVincentis, but he can't. And now Diaco in the far side corner. Diaco loses the handle of it to Jackson. And Jackson tries to get over to Coe. And Coe brings it in offside. And we're going to get another stoppage here. But Hamilton now leads in the shot category 7-5 and 2-1 where it counts on the scoreboard.
And just want to go emphasize one more category that the Hamilton Bulldogs are dominating, and that's face-offs won. Hamilton has won 12 of the first 15 face-offs. So what that means is that the Hamilton Bulldogs are starting more often with the puck than the North Bay Battalion. And we just saw it there on that last goal by the Hamilton Bulldogs as they got that face-off win in the offensive territory. And again, winning another draw here against this Battalion team.
McDonald now takes Jackeye to the ice. He looks in front of the net for Van Steensel, and he almost was rewarded for all of his hard work this game, but now the puck's quickly up to Diaco. Diaco waiting for some reinforcements. Just puts it deep for Winterton. And now Arnsby's holding him against the boards. Back up to Van Steensel. Van Steensel with not many options. Tries to get up to McDonald, but it's batted down by White. Winterton comes back into the Battalion zone with it. Diaco gets the puck back to Winterton. Grushnikov looking up front, but DiVincentis is just going to tip that one away. Grushnikov skates the blue line. Takes a shot, but McDonald blocks it. And now Grushnikov just dumps it back in for Arnsby to go after. Arnsby and Winterton battle along the far side half wall. Ladd gets it up to Van Steensel. And Van Steensel has nowhere to go with it, so he just skates it up to the red line and dumps it in. Puck comes out in front off the kick plate to Costantini, and he has to be quick with his stick and knock it away. And now White has it behind his net and looks for the Bulldogs to go through a line change and regroup. Biondi way up at the Battalion blue line. Gets stood up by Nelson, though, at the Battalion bench, and now Sims has it and leaves it behind his net. Big sliding hit by Wakely. That was a strange one. Looked like he was diving into second base there and took his guy out. Now Nelson and Duarte do battle in the near side corner. And Sema with Donovan gets it up to Romani. And he's going to dump it in. Romani, Sema, and Wakely. This was a line that we saw a lot of in the later half of the season. And Nelson takes a shot from the point and is kicked away by Costantini. Pile up on the far side half wall as Romani tries to come away with it. And now Sema's just going to dump it behind the net. It's going to go all the way out to the point for Winslow. Winslow over to Nelson, to Jackson. Jackson back to Winslow. Winslow to Sema. Sema tries to get it out front, but it's blocked by Van Vliet. Sema just going to dump it back in. Donovan's going to chase after it. And Jackson will end up taking the puck away, but then he probably loses it to Sims. Sims gets it back behind the corner to Van Vliet. Van Vliet looking up ice. He's just going to tip it off the glass and go for a change. And now Mathern and Ladd are going to go into the corner with Humphrey. Mathern gets the puck up to Petrov. And Petrov's going to leave it out the center ice for Jackson, who then gets it over to Coe. Coe can't walk in with it as Jackeye stands him up. Now it's Winterton to Kramer. Kramer looking out front for Morrison. Morrison had some space, but Mathurin quickly took it away, and then he promptly knocks Morrison down. Humphrey in the far side corner to Hayes. Back to Kramer. Kramer takes the shot. It goes wide of the net. Arnsby now looking to pin it up with 1:28 now left in the first period. Gets it out to Kramer. Kramer tries to spin and take a quick shot. Just left for Petrov. Now the Battalion have a 2-on-1 with Coe and Petrov. Coe around Jackeye. He tries to get it out front, but Kramer comes back in with a sliding stop, and the puck never got to Costatini. Morrison. Back to Hayes. Loses it to Morrison. Morrison picks it back up. Gets it back to Jackeye, who takes a quick shot. And Divincentis stops that one with 1 minute left in the first period. And I have to say, Coast made some comments after the first game about big, slow D for the Hamilton Bulldogs. One of the Hamilton reporters really tried to key in on that and make that a controversy after game 2 in the post-game press conference. Wouldn't that have been sweet if Coe was able to score on Jackeye like that?
Yeah, just a nice little toe drag around the first D, but he didn't see Kramer coming back to slide to intercept that pass that was intended for Petrov backdoor going cross ice, but just a good job there with a glorious opportunity for the Battalion.
54 seconds left on the clock, and the Battalion look to even it up before the end of the period, which would be a first in this series as well. They've gone down at least 2-1 in both games 1 and 2. Out to Tarasevic at the face-off. He takes the shot. It's off Costatini's blocker and out of play. But yeah, through the first 2 games, North Bay's found themselves down at least 2-1 going into the first intermission, Derek.
And we thought that was going to be one of the things that we were looking for the Battalion to try and do differently. We saw them get that first goal early on, get the 7th man into this game, but since then it's been a lot of Hamilton Bulldog taking the air out of this building, scoring twice to take that 2-1 lead here late in the first period, as Avery Hayes picking up both Hamilton Bulldogs goals so far this evening.
Another face-off win for the Bulldogs. As you mentioned, Winterton now gets it up ice, tries to get it to McTavish. It's going to miss him, go the length of the ice for icing. We're going to get another face-off here with 33 seconds down into the Bulldog zone.
And that's one of the things when you're looking at the scoring. Sure, Avery Hayes is doing a lot of the scoring, and we haven't seen anything really from Mason McTavish. But what's happening is the North Bay Battalion are focusing on that line of Thomas, McTavish, and Winterton, shutting that line down. And it's that second unit, the first line of Morrison, Hayes, Humphrey doing all the damage against this Battalion team.
Puck jumping around in front of Costatini's net, and the Battalion can't bury it. 24 seconds to go, and the puck's going to go the length of the ice again. No icing, though, as the referee waved it off at the last second, or the linesman waved it off at the last second. Arnsby tries to go through the neutral zone, but it's going to be Diaco that stops it. 8 seconds left on the clock. Kramer is going to hold on to it in his own zone, and we're going to finish this period like we finished all of the first periods, with the Battalion down 2-1, heading into the first intermission. Shots on goal are 11-8 in favor of the Bulldogs as well, and of course where it matters most, it's 2-1 on the scoreboard for the Bulldogs. And of course, now we'll turn things back over to Mr. Bob Coles when he gets a moment here and gets ready to go. Who will take you through the first intermission. Bob, take her away.
Thank you very much, Courtney. Yes, interesting period of hockey. There's a little vibe in the building. Fans living and dying on every hit and every pass and every scoring chance. And a good period for North Bay. But, you know, if you hadn't heard of Avery Hayes, he didn't get a lot of hype going into this series, but he has been the story of this series. 5 goals. You figure you have, what, 15 goals in the playoffs? No, 7. And that's sort of the Hamilton story, isn't it? They never know when they're getting production from, and it's Avery Hayes right now who's carrying them offensively. So in this intermission, we're going to talk about the first period, and we'll start with Derek. And Derek, North Bay got off to a good start. Most people felt they had to get the first goal, and they did that. They opened the scoring.
Exactly what we thought and we were wanting was that first goal by the North Bay Battalion. It only took a couple minutes, just over 3 minutes to be exact, to get that first goal, to get that 1-0 lead. But again, a lot of Hamilton Bulldogs firepower came to play after that. They got those couple goals from Avery Hayes, and it's just how does the North Bay Battalion respond again, falling down 2-1 after one period of play. Can they bounce back and come out that second period just as strong as they started the first?
Yeah, the goal for Matvei Petrov was a big one. Of course, he's playing with Brandon Coe and in place of Mitchell Russell on the top line, along with Kyle Jackson. Paul Christopoulos got the assist, only the second playoff goal for Petrov at 2:42. The shots were 11-8. Hamilton. Each team had a power play and didn't score, but Hamilton did score on North Bay's power play, and that was a big one. Faceoffs won 15-5 Hamilton. Talk about Avery Hayes. We'll get Derek's comment in a second. He got the shorty, his 6th of the playoffs, but his 4th of the series, believe it or not, from Lawson Shirk at 8:14, and then at 13:48 Hayes again unassisted. So, you know, it does say a lot about this Hamilton team. You know, you think of Jacka, you think of Mason McTavish, but they can get offense from any of their lines or any of their players. And it's been Avery Hayes in this series. I think he had 2 assists in game 1. He had a 3-point game in game 2. He's got 2 goals tonight, so he's on a roll.
Yeah, and he just is coming off of the Player of the Week honors. Hayes picking up 7 points, leading all OHL players last week, 3 goals, 4 assists in those first 2 games against the North Bay Battalion. Like, what can you say? It's that line right now, Morrison, Hayes, Humphrey, that's doing the damage for the Hamilton Bulldogs. If you try and shut down McTavish and Winterton, you still have to deal with Morrison and Hayes. And if that's the line that's not scoring, you still have Misak and Diaco and Shirk picking up the 3rd unit. And then you talk about even the depth on the 4th line. Biondi, who came over at the deadline from the Sudbury Wolves, Sim and Durati. You know what? 4 strong lines. How can you shut down all 4 of those units?
And Courtney North Bay had lost a little momentum. They fell behind 2-1, and a big penalty kill that North Bay had to have late in the period.
Yeah, and you know what? Right now, if the North Bay Battalion end up winning, I mean, of course, Hamilton has scored since. But if the Battalion end up winning, you gotta give major props to Owen Van Steensel for, you know, it was about 2 or 3 big shot blocks that he had on Mason McTavish. Mason McTavish's stick helping out the Battalion as well as it exploded on one attempt. But man, what can you say about Owen Van Steensel, who's really just blocking everything that comes within contact? And when Ryan Houlihan calls them the identity line, that's what he means, is what plays like that. And Van Steensel's part of that line. So, really big penalty kill for the Battalion, and just a shame that they gave it up on the shorthanded goal.
So what do you think the message is in the Battalion locker room right now, dressing room rather? What do you think the message is after opening the scoring, giving up the shorthanded one, and then falling behind?
I have to think that, you know, it's kind of more of the same, because that's probably the best we've seen the Battalion play this entire series, Bob. I mean, we watched games 1 and 2, or 1 on TV. In Hamilton, they did not play a good game whatsoever. From opening puck drop, it felt like, you know, Winslow had a great chance early in game 2, fanned on the shot, and then from there it was all Bulldogs. So I think it has to be more of the same. They played a gritty period. They played a great or well-executed period. They made 2 mistakes. It ended up in the back of their net. And we've seen this team be prone to mistakes before, especially against like Kingston, where they went down 3-0 like in the first 7 or 13 minutes of game 2. But, you know, this is a team that can claw their way back in. And I think when it comes to the shorthanded goal, you just have to throw that one out the window and really key in on that other goal that they gave up.
Well, let's pick up on what Courtney said, Derek. And they, unlike game 1, where I thought they looked a little nervous, tonight they don't look nervous. They're just playing hard, tough, competitive playoff hockey. So I think that's a good sign. The fans are into the game. They're getting a lot of support here. So they're just playing a very good team. But they're competing out there.
They are competing, but I still think there's a little bit more that Jackson and Co can do to pick up that top line. They have to be the best players out there, and in that first period, I don't really think they were the best players for the North Bay Battalion. I didn't hear them called much from Courtney Kenny doing the play-by-play. I want to see them just pick up the offensive game a little bit more and push the pace going down into the offensive zone. Sure, they're competing, but I think there's just a little bit more, another gear that those players can find.
Of course, this is game 3 of the battle for the Bobby Orr Trophy, with Hamilton winning the first 2 games. Game 4 will be Friday night, and of course we'll have it for you right here on your game day broadcast at 6:50 from Memorial Gardens. Let's talk a little about the other series. Windsor and Flint, they split the first two games in Windsor, the Spitfires and the Firebirds, and Windsor's up 3-0 already, 15 minutes into the game. Is there a favorite, do you think, in that series, Derek? Or is that, like Hamilton is favored here in the East? What about the West?
It's a little bit tighter, I think, in the favorites of those. Windsor is the favorite just because they were the higher seed coming into it. But those two teams, they play each other so tightly throughout the year, and we've seen that in games 1 and 2. This game a little bit differently as the Windsor Spitfires have opened up a 3-0 lead. I would give Windsor maybe a slight edge. That's going to be a long series, and to me, I'd like to see the Windsor Spitfires come out of that one.
Of course, the winner of this series will go to the OHL final, and then the winner of that one will go to the Memorial Cup. The two division finals out west are underway, but we're still waiting for the third round of the Quebec League. They're a little behind still, and in fact, they only did 5-game series in the first two rounds, unlike the OHL. Courtney.
Yeah, I had the privilege of joining the Moncton Wildcats podcast, the Wildcats podcast, just before their playoffs started because they wanted to get a sense of the OHL playoffs. At that point, the Battalion were still playing the 67s, so it was a while ago. But the Battalion were almost done their series with the 67s, and the Q had yet to start playing. So that just shows how far behind they are. But like you mentioned, they're doing the best of 5 right now, so they're trying to catch up. Because I believe there was a point in time where they did have to kind of pause the season a little bit thanks to COVID. So they were a little bit behind trying to get all those games in at the end of the year.
Well, let's turn to the other hockey news going on right now overseas in Finland. Canada, it seems to go on longer than the OHL season, the World Hockey Championship, but it doesn't, but it just seems that way. The round robin's over, Derek. The quarterfinals are set, and Canada will play Sweden tomorrow morning at 9:20. I know you'll be hard at work then, so you'll miss the game. But what do you think of this World Championship this year?
It's kind of hard to get really into it with it being overseas and a lot of the games being during the day, so I don't get to watch a lot of.
What are you talking about, Mr. I can golf during the day.
One day. I don't get to watch much of the hockey during the week, so I know Canada lost a couple tight games and unfortunately falling down in their standings in their side of the pools, and they get a tough draw taking on Sweden in the quarterfinals. That to me is the best round of hockey anywhere, is that quarterfinal matchup. Those teams play hard, knowing that possibly could be their last game of that tournament.
Yeah, Canada finished third in their pool. Sweden finished second. Switzerland won Canada's pool, and they will play the U.S., who just snuck in for that fourth spot. So it's always interesting, the World Championship. You either win tomorrow, you advance to the semis, or if you lose, you're on the next flight out of Finland. So a lot of pressure for all those 8 teams tomorrow. If you missed the news about Jaromir Jagr, serious accident, but he escaped unhurt. Great news there, but checking out some of the photos of his vehicle, his expensive vehicle, Courtney, pretty damaged. So thank goodness no serious injuries there. Let's turn to the. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, it's kind of like when you see the pictures of Tiger Woods' vehicle and he had the car crash like a year and a half ago. You're like, how could anyone walk away from that one? It's pretty remarkable. Quickly back on the Team Canada thing. I could get the player name wrong here. I think it's Cole Sillinger of the Blue Jackets. They had a really neat video because Rick Nash is the assistant general manager of Team Canada over there. And Rick Nash, of course, working with the Blue Jackets once again. They had a really neat video of Rick Nash calling him into the office, telling him that, hey, you made Team Canada. And even though it's Columbus, in Ohio, in the States, it was cool to see that they still celebrated that moment, even though he's playing for a rival nation.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow in Finland for sure. Let's, of course, in North America, most of the attention is in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Tampa's through. A lot of people think it's going to be Tampa, Colorado in the Stanley Cup final this year. Colorado's up 3-1. They're playing Game 5 tonight at home against St. Louis. Of course, Calgary is surprisingly down to Edmonton 3-1. They'll play Game 5 tomorrow night, and the Rangers in Carolina are 2-2. So we'll go with Derek. Derek, what stands out for you in the second round so far?
how quickly Tampa Bay did work of the Florida Panthers. It took Tampa Bay 7 games to take out the Toronto Maple Leafs, but they wasted no time, showing that they are a Stanley Cup contender, taking out the President Cup trophy winner, the Florida Panthers, in 4 straight games.
I would say they're the favorites until somebody proves otherwise, and no one has proven otherwise in the last 10 playoff rounds. So Tampa just writing an incredible story. They have the best goalie in the world. I don't think there's any argument there. 49 save shutout performance in the series clincher on Monday night. And of course, Edmonton, Calgary getting all the attention in Canada. Courtney, everyone's been watching the Oilers and the Flames, and Connor McDavid and Evander Kane. Like, when that deal was made, there's a lot of criticism that what are they doing getting Evander Kane with all his trouble on and off the ice? But he's leading all goal scorers with 11 in the playoffs. So the Oilers are on a roll right now.
They really are. And at the beginning of the series, I looked at the Oilers and Flames, and I said, the Oilers got McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, that's good. Markstrom's a way better goalie than Mike Smith, so what's going on there? But although Mike Smith did let in that really goofy goal there.
Did his Toskala impression.
Yeah, don't remind me. Those are dark days, Bob. The Oilers are playing well, and when it comes to Evander Kane, I thought, him playing with McDavid's going to be good for his career, obviously. And if you look at his history, he started off strong with the Thrashers, grew long in the tooth, kind of thing. And then, of course, Winnipeg Jets, they threw his tracksuit in the shower and all that stuff. Goes to Buffalo. He started off okay in Buffalo, then they got rid of him too. Started off fantastic in San Jose to the point where San Jose wanted to give him a long-term extension. It'll be interesting to see because he started off well with Edmonton. He always starts off in new places really well before, kind of his attitude rears its head again or something happens. So it'll be interesting to see if Ken Holland wants to sign him to a long-term deal, because the Oilers, they're only a couple of $1 million away from salary cap hell too. So,
but what I've noticed, Derek, with Evander Kane and that line, McDavid and Draisaitl, that when they get the puck, they score in like 7 seconds from their own zone. Calgary, it takes 2 minutes for them to get a shot, and like the speed of that line is just incredible. But it'll be interesting. Markstrom plays well against every team except Edmonton. Yeah. His numbers have proven that.
Look at him in last night's game, Bob, where 20 seconds in, he goes to play the puck and promptly gives it up, and it's 1-0 Edmonton. Yeah,
it's crazy. But Game 5 tomorrow, we'll see what Calgary's got, but back to what I was saying earlier. Is it destiny that we get Colorado and Tampa for the Cup this year, or do you think there's going to be a surprise still?
I don't think it's totally destiny. There could be a surprise, but saying that, I still think Colorado is the strongest team in the West. They're going to knock out the St. Louis Blues, and if McDavid can't carry the Edmonton Oilers through that round, it's not going to be a long series against Colorado. They're just that much stronger, bigger, and play a much better hockey. Tampa Bay still has one more series. They've won 10 straight series now. They need to win one more to get to that playoff, their Stanley Cup Finals for the 3rd consecutive time. It's never tough repeating, and to be a 3-peat champion is even harder. I just don't know if Carolina or the Rangers are that team that could knock off and deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
One thing, because, watching the Leafs play against the Lightning, this was beaten over my head a bunch of times by the broadcasters in that 7-game series. The Lightning aren't true, real 2-time Cup champions, because you got to think about it. The season was paused because of COVID. They went into the bubble. They had some time off. They played the game. Then they had, from September till January off, and they played a 56-game season, played the Stanley Cup Finals. This is their first real full season where they've gone this far in the year, so they still have legs under them. They are not like the Blackhawks, who's had so many long runs type of thing. And this Lightning team's remarkable. And on the Leafs side of things, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you must be sad they got swept by Florida." I'm not, or that they swept Florida. I'm not. I think the Battalion, or the Battalion. The Maple Leafs gave the Tampa Bay Lightning a real run for their money, and that's a little bit of solace on a dark, cold Toronto Maple Leaf fan night.
Well, the teams are on the ice. They're about to begin the second period, but before they do, I'll remember the last team to win 3 straight Stanley Cups, the New York Islanders. That's how long it's been, and Mike Bossy passed away recently, and maybe there's a little reminder there. It's been a while, 40 years or so, since we've had not only a repeat champion, a repeat of a repeat champion, and of course we'll be watching Nick Paul to see how he does in the next round. Second period about to start, and here's Courtney and Derek to call it for you.
Thanks a lot, Bob, and looking forward to catching up with you again in the second intermission. We're just seconds away from puck drop here in the second period of play, where the Hamilton Bulldogs lead this Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Championship by a score of 2-1, as the referees just have a couple of words quickly with North Bay Battalion head coach Ryan Houlihan before this period gets underway. Now let's welcome back for the call of the second period, Courtney Kenny.
Thank you very much, Derek. And so Romani picking up an assist on the Petrov goal. And Battalion getting a quick change in as they go with their top line and not the identity line to start off this period at the last second, as Ryan saw the option out there of the Bulldogs' third line and says, hey, you know what, I get last change here, so I'm going to bring out my top line. The Battalion in their home greens going left to right, the Bulldogs in their road whites going right to left, and the Battalion win the face-off, and Winslow gets it down to the Bulldogs zone quickly. Diaco with the puck loses the handle of it to Jackson. Jackson back to the blue line. Looks up ice for Winslow. Winslow loses it in a skate, so Duarte catches up to him. Winslow back to dumping it back in. And Coe's going to pick it up with a quick shot. Costantini had to be strong on that one as he kicked it away. Mysick now to Duarte. Duarte loses the handle, but Diaco's there to pick it up. He tries to take the shot. It's blocked by Jackson. And Jackson now kicks it out for Duarte. And Duarte from the point with 34 seconds into the second period. The Bulldogs are up 3-1.
Duarte picking up a loose puck. That's his first goal of this playoff series and the OHL playoffs in total, as Duarte picks up that loose puck in the high slot area, wristing it past the blocker side of Dom DeVincentis. Kind of not really seeing it coming, as there was a couple players right in front of him, along with another Battalion player up high in the slot, taking away the vision of DeVincentis. Only 34 seconds been played here in the second period, and the Bulldogs extend their lead and now lead by a score of 3-1.
Eerie feeling, as this has the same feeling as every other game now. The Battalion were down 2-1 after the first intermission of Game 1, down 2-0 in the first intermission Game 2, and Hamilton started to pull away in the second period, so we'll see if the Battalion are able to do that, as Van Steensel Arnsby tries to bat the puck in front of the net, and he just lost it a little bit. Humphrey now with the puck loses it to Arnsby. Arnsby at the red line gets the puck back to the blue line of the Battalion, but it's going to be Hayes, who scored 2 goals already, over to Morrison. Morrison couldn't get that one to settle down, and the puck's back down to the Bulldog zone with Jackeye and McDonald. And you know what? There's something to Coe's comments when Kyle McDonald's outpacing Jackeye, who takes a big hit of Grushnikov. And now we're going to get a penalty, as Grushnikov laid there looking for a call, and he got one. But that was a dangerous hit from Kyle McDonald.
And we'll have to see what the call is, as no signal has been made by the back official, as McDonald hit the Hamilton Bulldog player kind of awkwardly from a side angle. A 2-minute boarding call being obsessed to Kyle McDonald there, as he hits the Bulldog player just going to his own bench. But the Hamilton Bulldogs going on their second power play of this contest, 0 for 1 in the first period of play, as we mentioned numerous times how strong Owen Van Steensel was on that penalty kill, blocking numerous shots attempts off of the stick of Mason McTavish.
You cannot, it's early in the second period, but you cannot go down 4-1 against this Bulldogs team, because that's pretty much good night Irene for the Battalion in this one. White looking near side to Morrison. Morrison goes cross ice to McTavish, back to White. Fake shot. Now he looks to actually shoot it, but it goes wide of the net, and DeVincentis tries to pounce on it, but he can't get a handle on it. Winterton gets it back to White at the blue line. White to McTavish. McTavish and White changing positions now. McTavish is going to skate it in, takes the shot. It's off a skate of Van Steensel and goes wide. Winterton picks up the puck again. And Van Steensel loses the handle on it. McTavish gets it back. Quickly into Hayes, who had a sharp angle and tried to get it in quick on DiVincentis, and it goes up and into the netting for a stoppage and play.
Again, a lot of the play going through the stick of Mason McTavish here on this power play. 42 seconds gone here in this man advantage, and the North Bay Battalion making a quick change here to get some fresh penalty killers against this number 1 unit of McTavish, Morrison, and Hayes out front for the Bulldogs.
White back at the blue line now to Morrison. Minute 13 left on the penalty kill. Quickly back to McTavish to White. White to Morrison. In deep to Hayes. Goes back to the point for White. White tries to tee one up. It floated in as it hit a body in front, and DiVincentis gets that one in the butterfly. Minute 03 left on the man advantage for the Bulldogs.
And when you're looking at the difference between the two power play units between the Hamilton Bulldogs and the North Bay Battalion is that Hamilton Bulldog unit has 2 one-timer shots in that umbrella formation. So White can either send it over to Winterton for that right-handed one-timer or send it to the right-hand side, as McTavish is a left-hand shot for that one-timer. So there, you got to be ready to key on both of those shots coming at any time.
Yeah, Battalion don't have that on their power play, as both Petrov and Coe are the same hand.
Yeah, both of those two guys are right-handed shots. So Cole, playing that right wing, has to guard it on his forehand and take an extra quick second to get it off before allowing the goaltender a little bit more time to react.
Van Steensel's able to get the puck out quickly, and White now has it in his own zone. 53 seconds on this power play. And White tries the Nelson to Coe drop pass, but instead it's all the way back to behind his net for Hayes. White quickly up to Morrison. Morrison with some speed tries to get it in. Ladd falling to the ice. And now Morrison gets some more space. Back to White. Quickly over to McTavish, who fakes shot. Over to Morrison. Morrison goes for a bit of a skate, changes positions with McTavish. McTavish looks shot. DiVincentis grabs that one with his block, or his glove, I should say. 24 seconds left. Bulldogs lead 3-1.
Another shot there coming off of Mason McTavish as the Bulldogs did a little bit of a quick rotation to try and open up that shot for McTavish, but finding nothing but the mitt of Dom DiVincentis as there's 24 seconds remaining in this man advantage for the Hamilton Bulldogs.
Second unit coming out with Jack-Eye at the point to Kramer. Jack-Eye back at the point, over to Kramer. Kramer back to Jack-Eye. Takes the shot, it goes wide of the net. Van Steensel's going to bat it down the ice, and it's going to get to the Bulldogs blue line, and Jack-Eye is just going to hold on to it. 6 seconds left now. Thomas goes cross ice for Winslow, and Winslow's going to grab it at the corner, and now we're going to be back to 5-on-5 hockey as the Battalion tried to get McDonald to spring on the coming out of the penalty box. So the Battalion 2 for 2 on the penalty kill, looking a lot better than they did Sunday in Hamilton. Back to Jack-Eye at the point. And he shoots it in quickly to DiVincentis, as it sounded like we had someone trying their best attempt at yodeling.
Yeah, wasn't sure what that was or where it was coming from, but that third goal here by the Bulldogs has certainly taken some more air out of this building here at Memorial Gardens. Not really a stellar crowd out here, probably looking at about maybe 2,400 fans in total, but trying to be as loud as they can here, bringing the 7th man as the Battalion trail by 2 goals here, 16:22 to go in this second period of play.
No, and these kids need the support, and they're not getting it. It's really sad. Remember, North Bay, you lost one major junior team at one point. Don't make it 2. Duarte in the corner. He's getting all kind of hassle from Govro. Once again, those two guys dropped the gloves in game 2, and it's up to Sema. Sema just dumps it down the ice, and Romani's going to go after it. Sema takes down Donovan really hard. Podolou on the puck. He looks out front. It's quickly to Romani, who takes the shot, and Anthony Romani gets the Battalion back to within 1. 15:52 left in the second period. The Battalion are down 3-2.
Anthony Romani with this third goal of this playoffs. His second point to the night has closed the gap to 1 here. 4:08 gone in this middle frame as Anthony Romani puts it between the legs of Constantini, and it's a 3-2 game. North Bay trail by 1 here. 15:52 left in this middle frame.
That secondary scoring of Anthony Romani has been there throughout the playoffs and throughout the second half of the season. Remember, he had 8 goals in the regular season, none of them before the beginning of February.
No, he's been strong down the stretch, and he made it interesting down the stretch to see who would be that odd man out for the Battalion on forwards.
He's really stated his case well, and we've seen Sema be the one that's been out, but now without Water, as we get an offside call here quickly after the goal. But we've seen that with Sema out of the lineup, but now without Water out of the lineup, they're all getting their chance, and of course with Russell out, really becoming something else.
No, and a really good pushback after falling down 3-1 to pick up that goal here early in this second period of play to close it to 1. There's lots of time left, and it's not to get discouraged that you can still come back in this game. You have the firepower to put a lot of goals up on that board.
They do indeed. And now it's quickly to Hayes, who's got 2 in this one. Hayes takes the shot, but is blocked by Winslow. Now it's behind the net for Humphrey. Humphrey with some space. He's getting harassed by Nelson now. Gets it out to Jackeye. Jackeye takes the shot. It's tipped in front, but Divinchetta stops that one. Winslow behind the net to Nelson. Nelson goes for a bit of a skate behind his net and comes out with the puck and goes for a bit of a skate up ice now. He dumps it in quickly. It's past Costantini's net, and it's Kramer who picks it up. Morrison up to Humphrey, who has a lot of space. Humphrey coming in, but Ladd stops him. And then his pass goes all the way back down to the Bulldog zone. Van Steensel just was ahead of him, and Costantini comes out and plays it. And Van Steensel with a blind pass to Coe, misses Coe. And Costantini stops that one, and then Grushnikov has a bit of couple of shoves for Brandon Coe.
Unfortunately for Van Steensel, that was a little bit too far ahead of him to get to the puck before Constantini did. But a good job trying to get it ahead to Coe. Again, we need to see Coe step it up, play a more physical game here, and try and be that offensive leader on that first line. Both goals that we've seen as that fourth unit of Romani and Sema have been out there on the ice.
Van Steensel goes after it, and Grushnikov picks it up. McDonald tries to get out front to Arnsby, and now it's Winterton. Winterton over to Thomas. Thomas tries to go cross ice for McTavish, who had the awning cage, but he can't get the shot away. Now McDonald with some speed through the neutral zone. Gets around Grushnikov. They've already taken one hit from each other, and it was McDonald who took the penalty on that one, but he gets it over to Arnsby. Arnsby back to the point for Christopoulos. Christopoulos looking to take a shot. It goes off a body and high into the glass. McDonald taken to the boards by McTavish, and he gets the puck over to Arnsby. Back to Christopoulos, who tries to get it back in deep, but the Bulldogs just push it out. Van Steensel gets it back to Arnsby, and Arnsby's going to dump it back in, and that identity line having all kinds of good shifts here this evening. Goes off for a change. Grushnikov quickly up ice for Thomas. Thomas tries to go front, but McTavish almost went offside. One could argue it looked pretty close from up here, but the referees and linesmen say play on. Now the puck, however, doesn't matter. It's back to the Bulldog zone. And then Hamilton just flutters it into the Battalion zone for Thomas to go after, who then blows the tire and goes face first into the boards. Mathurin to Wakely. He goes cross ice to Tarasevic, who's quietly had a good game. Tarasevic goes cross ice for Mathurin. Mathurin looking for some options, goes to shoot it, but it's blocked by Misek. Misek up to Diaco. Gets it to Shirk. Shirk can't gain the Battalion zone as he's pinned at the boards right near where the Bulldogs penalty box is. Van Vliet back to Donovan. Over to Van Vliet again. I have to say I made this joke off here, but Van Vliet knows exactly who he's going to get when he buys a Raptors jersey. It's pretty easy on that one. Bulldogs come out with a Shirk to Diaco. Diaco can't get the shot away. Back to Shirk to Jackeye. Jackeye's shot goes wide. Jackeye taken down by Van Steensel as he blew a tire. And now Shirk goes cross ice to Diaco. Diaco takes the shot, and it's Divincentis may have gotten a piece of that, but it's wide of the net. Shirk again. Getting tied up by Potaloo. And Shirk now in the corner with the puck still. Getting fits now from Govro. And the Bulldogs try to come away with it. Misek. He loses it, and Govro comes away with it. Over looks up ice for Sema, who immediately gives it away to Kramer. Jack-Eye up ice quickly for McTavish. McTavish goes around Mathurin, takes a sharp angle shot. DiVincenzo stands tall on that one. Mathurin promptly gives it back to Sema, who gets it up ice quickly to Petrov. Petrov looks into the front, and the Battalion tie it up! The Battalion tie it at 3! As the Battalion get that goal quickly with 11:55 left in the second period.
Nick Sema with his first goal of this playoffs, playing in only his 6th game, has tied things up here. 8:05 into the second period as he goes to the front of the net, keeping his stick on the ice, and Petrov putting it off through the legs of Constantini, tying things up. That's the 3rd goal for that 4th line unit of Romani Sema, playing alongside whoever the rotation of wingers is. And we're deadlocked at 3. 11:55 left here in this middle frame of Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Championships, as we get the green light, and it's a good goal, North Bay Battalion.
Matvey Petrov picking up his 2nd point of the game as well. After going quiet for the first 2 rounds, picks up 2 points here in Game 3 against the Bulldogs. Nelson, as the building comes alive. Petrov gets it out to the neutral zone. It's back to Nelson. Ty Nelson dumps it in. White picks it up in his zone corner. Now Petrov comes away with it, tries to get it out front to Jackson. Kyle Jackson out front, gets it to Coe, and there's no goal, but there is a penalty coming. How did that stay out of the net as Brandon Coe was behind Costantini and fell over while trying to get it in the net?
Yes, and the penalty coming up to the Hamilton Bulldogs, Gavin White, as he pulls down Brandon Coe, who was in behind Constantini looking for that pouncing puck, somehow standing up. But the North Bay Battalion go to their 2nd man advantage here in this 2nd period of play. This power play proudly sponsored or supported by 7N1D and Noah Strong. Visit them at noahstrong.ca to see what they are doing locally to raise funds and awareness. You can visit them again at noahstrong.ca as the Battalion go to their 2nd man advantage, looking to take back the lead.
Puck back to the point for Nelson off the face-off to Coe. Coe promptly gets it quickly back to Nelson. Goes cross-eyed to Petrov. Petrov with the shot. It goes wide. Coe back to Nelson. Nelson back to Coe. Coe goes cross-eyed to Petrov. Petrov with the shot. It goes wide of the net. Jackson picks it up behind the boards, behind the net. Jackson goes back to the point with it. Skates it back into enemy territory. Gives it to Coe. Picks it up at the near side half wall to Nelson. Back to Jackson. Jackson now takes the shot. Costantini's glove has it. Minute 20 left on the power play opportunity for the Battalion.
A lot better puck movement in this first 40 seconds of this 2nd power play. The North Bay Battalion doing a much better job moving it around and getting better looks on net. Really like the job of Leon Arnsby in front of that goal. Him and Arbor Jack-Eye having quite the battle in front of Constantini, trying to take away that eyesight of Constantini.
Nelson with the puck off the face-off, tries to get it over to Petrov. McTavish comes away with it. McTavish looking up ice for Hayes, and he almost had a step on Nelson, but Nelson gets the good stick in there. Jackson now carries it in. Jackson with the toe drag, tries to get it in, but he can't get a shot away. Hayes now looking up ice. He scored a shorthanded goal earlier, and he's going to carry it in with McTavish, and he's just going to send it back to his defenseman Kramer, who then promptly dumps it back into the Battalion zone to kill some more time off. 50 seconds left on the power play for the Battalion. Nelson carrying it up to the blue line. He gets it through the neutral zone, dumps it into the Bulldog zone, and Coe goes after it with Duarte. Coe leaves it for McDonald, gets it back up to Coe, and it's off his skate, and Kramer picks it up behind his net. Petrov then pins him to the boards. Is stuck behind his net as well. Jack-Eye knocks Winslow to the ice. No call coming on that one, and the puck gets back to Ladd at the point. Ladd holds on to it, gets it up to Petrov. Petrov tries to get to Coe, but it was just behind Coe's skates, so the puck comes out to the neutral zone. Coe, he's been out for the entire power play, gets it over to McDonald. McDonald skates it in. He tries to go cross ice for Coe. Coe picking up with 7 seconds left on the man advantage. Cross ice to McDonald, who had the go-ahead goal on his stick, but he fanned on the shot. McDonald now quickly back to Ladd. Ladd over to Winslow. Winslow takes the shot. It goes wide of the net. Constantini almost had the rebound come out in front of him. And now Wakely goes after it with Kramer. Coe still out there, goes after Shirk, and he holds the puck in. Wakely picking it up. Wakely looking front of the ice or front of the net, but there's no one there. And the Bulldogs now almost try to get away with it, but Wakely comes away with it and takes a high hit from Jackeye. McDonald once again with the puck, but the Battalion keeping it in. Ladd gloves it down, takes a quick hard shot, and Shirk falls over. Ladd falls over as well, and the McDonald takes the shot. It goes high and off the netting, and we'll send things now at our mid-period break over to Bob Coles, who will take us through our mid-period break of the second period. Bob?
Thank you very much, Courtney. Yes, a couple of turning points in that period. The early goal by Hamilton looked like it might have sapped the energy of the crowd, made it 3-1 in the first minute, but it was actually a hit by Kyle McDonald, which got the crowd back into it. He drew the penalty, the Battalion killed it, and then Nick Sema found his game. He set up Romani for the second goal, and he scored it to tie it, and the Battalion then drew a penalty and did a great job as Justin Brazo being introduced to the crowd, the former Troops great. And but it was just that push, I think, from the McDonald. They were inspired by killing that penalty, and they really have played well. But Nick Sema has found his game, and that's a great sign. We've been waiting for him to break out, and it's tonight here in Game 3, and it's 3-3 as we throw it back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Bob, and we'll look forward to hearing from you after the second period of play to recap this second period and take a look at the Western Conference Championship Final that is also going underway in Flint tonight. Last I heard, the Windsor Spitfires were up 3-0 in that Game 3 series that is tied at 1 apiece. 8:48 remaining in this second period of play. 3-3 is the score, and play just getting underway.
Quick shot off the face-off by Petrov, who's been buzzing all night. And the Bulldogs now have it back in the Battalion zone. Hayes carries it in. He takes the shot, and Morrison beats it past DiVincentis. And the Bulldogs are right back up 4-3 with 8:35 left in the second period. Morrison
with his 12th goal of this playoff series. 4th goal against the North Bay Battalion has restored the Hamilton Bulldogs lead just seconds after the midway point. They take a 4-3 lead here. 8:35 left in this second period of play, and the play just being quickly reviewed here before we get the thumbs up as the Battalion make a late change. But we've seen them push back from being down 3-1 here in this second period of play, tying things up at 3 just seconds ago before the midway break, and now the Bulldogs strike quickly. Morrison from Hayes as that line strikes again for another goal here against the North Bay Battalion.
Battalion once again have to climb them hill, and you hope that they still have it in them. Christopoulos gets it down into the Bulldogs zone. Jackeye plays it off the boards for Koreshnikov. He tries to get it up for Humphrey. And that penalty kill now for the Bulldogs is going to loom large as they have that 1-goal lead when it could have been the Battalion with a 1-goal lead. Humphrey behind DiVincentis' net into the corner. Near side half wall. Gets it back to Koreshnikov, who dumps it back in. Van Steensel tries to chip it out. But good stick by Donovan keeps it in. Arnsby loses it to Humphrey, who gets the pass over to Koreshnikov. Koreshnikov with the shot. And DiVincentis on the butterfly stops that one. And Mathurin promptly dumps Morrison in the corner, and then that prompts a scrum as well.
Just curious to see if anything comes out after this scrum as it quickly gets broken up here. So nothing to come out of it. Face-off coming to the right-hand side of Dom DiVincentis. 7:50 remaining in this second period, and the Bulldogs continue to lead by a score of 4-3. Just moments ago during that mid-period break, a big round of applause went up as former North Bay Battalion star Justin Brazo was shown on the Jumbotron of being in attendance tonight.
Winterton back to Donovan. Donovan takes a floater of a shot. It goes wide. Winterton back with the puck. He turns around quickly. He takes the wrist shot. DiVincentis gloves that one down. Shots are now 22-17 in favor of the Bulldogs with 7:38 left in the second. And one other thing on that Brazo comment, Derek, it looked like to the side of him was Cam Dineen, but I don't know. Seems
Maybe nobody recognized him.
Yeah,
Brazo getting all of the fanfare.
See what happens when you score 60 goals in your final OHL season?
Yeah, and 113 points. You get recognized everywhere.
Exactly.
Doesn't hurt to be 6'7".
No. McTavish almost gets away with one in front of DiVincentis. Barnsby gets the puck up to Van Steensel. Van Steensel dumps it down the ice, and McDonald goes after it. It's delayed offside, however. The linesman has his hand up. And now White through the neutral zone. Gets it into the Battalion zone. He tries to get out for Diaco, tries to bat it into the net, but instead it's in the corner. Quickly out front. And it's back to Grushnikov. Grushnikov, a thorn in the Battalion side all series as well. Over to McTavish. Back to White. And it looks like the Bulldogs are on a mini power play right now. Podolou coming away with it, gets it up to McDonald. And he gets it out to the red line and no further as Grushnikov picks it up. Grushnikov up to Diaco. Gets it in for McTavish behind Ladd. McTavish out front. And it goes to Podolou. Battalion have a 2-on-2 developing here. Podolou back to Wakely. Quickly over to Tarasevic. Back to Wakely. Wakely looks to take the shot. He does, and Costantini through traffic finds that with his glove. And now we get some more rough stuff between Podolou and Wakely and the Bulldogs.
Just a little bit of excitement here. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving after that play here. Nothing coming out of it as the referee pointing to the face-off dot to the glove hand side of Constantini. But just talking about the linesman as he gets ready to drop the puck, it's none other than New Lisker native Dustin McCrank. Some of them, you guys might remember him from the days here with the North Bay Skyhawks. You didn't mess around with him, and he probably is the top linesman in Canada right now, working that gold medal game at the last Olympics that isn't in the NHL currently.
Yeah, good for him as well. Podolou with a quick shot. Costantini kicks away. Mathurin out front, and Wakely with a good tip right on, but Costantini says you can't get me twice with that one, and covers that one up.
Good tip there by Wakely, but an even better save by Constantini, shutting that 5-hole, not allowing it to sneak through. But again, talk about a pushback from this North Bay Battalion team after giving up that fourth goal. They've come back, they've pushed hard, they've got a couple numerous scoring opportunities from this Wakely Podolou Tarasevic line and just causing havoc in front of Constantini, and that's what you need, and try and get that goal here and just build momentum here late in this second period of play.
Puck one back to Christopoulos at the blue line, who dumps it back in. And Jack Eye's going to pick that one up. He's going to get it up to Humphrey, who dumps it out, but it's held at the blue line by Wakely of all people. Podolou into Tarasevic, who has it in deep. Tarasevic being harassed by Jack Eye, who has about a good half a foot on him. Morrison over to Humphrey. Humphrey tries to pass across ice, but it's off the skate of Christopoulos and goes up in the air. Mathurin now. Back to Grushnikov. Grushnikov dumps it back in for Morrison. Morrison back to the point for Donovan. Donovan gives it to Morrison quickly. Morrison walks out with it in the slot. He takes the shot, but it's blocked by Mathurin. Christopoulos just trying to get it out and settle the puck down. Gets it up to Tarasevic, who gets it to Wakely. Wakely takes a hit from Donovan, but dumps it in deep. Humphrey behind his net to Grushnikov. Grushnikov's looking up ice for some options as he lets his guys change as well. Donovan quickly spins around, gives it back to Grushnikov. Back over to Donovan. And Donovan can't get it out of the line or out of his zone cleanly, but eventually it's down to Ladd at the Battalion zone. Grushnikov with the puck as Coe comes streaking in, trying to give him some pressure. And Jackson picks it up, but he can't get it past it as it looks like it's up in someone's equipment. So we're going to get a stoppage of play with 4:55 left in the second period.
Everyone's still looking forward as it come out of the equipment of Kyle Jackson. Face-off coming deep in the Hamilton Bulldog zone as that number one unit of Petrov Jackson out there and Coe out there for the North Bay Battalion's Ryan Houlihan's team as they look to get back on even ground with the Hamilton Bulldogs with 4:55 left in this middle period.
Jack Eye tries to get it around his net, but it comes out in front of Costantini. And instead, they're going to dump it down, but it's right on DiVincentis' net, who's just going to cover it up. We're going to get a stoppage and play. 4:43 left in the second period. Bulldogs lead 4-3.
Never a bad play to cover that up when you don't think you have the proper lineup out there, and just things aren't looking up when you see Mason McTavish and Logan and Winterton coming down on you. You want to hold on to that and try and win it off of a face-off.
Battalion do win it off a face-off, but McTavish pushes Winslow off the puck. And now they have him pinned down on the ice. Winslow comes away with it. Gets it to Coe. And Coe tries to get it out front, but he gives it away to Winterton. Winterton goes over to Thomas. Thomas with the sharp angle shot. DiVincenzo stops that one with his glove as well. And another stoppage to play. 4:25 now left in the second period. Shots on goal. 24-21 in favor of the Bulldogs.
Just a little different look for Ryan Houlihan as he left that lineup of Petrov, Jackson, and Coe out there to take on that big line of McTavish, Winterton, and Thomas. And now coming out over the boards is Tarasevich, Potaloo, and Wakely, who had a couple good scoring opportunities the last time they were out. The best one coming off of a deflection by Wakely just in front of the goal, trying to slip it through underneath the pads of Constantini.
Wakely wins it back to Mathurin. Battalion doing a better job on the face-offs this period. Has a quick pass up ice by Tarasevich to Potaloo, goes behind him, and White recovers it for the Bulldogs. Over to Jackeye, up to Misek, who stood tall by Nelson, but he still gets the puck in deep. Mathurin up to Wakely. Just cross ice for Tarasevich. Tarasevich back to Nelson, who just dumps it into the Battalion zone, and it goes around the end boards for White. White gets it up to Diaco, and he try to get it to the blue line, and Mathurin takes a big hit, but he keeps it in. Van Vliet in his own zone with it. Goes cross ice to his D partner White, and White looks up ice for Misek. Misek and Nelson go to the corner on the near side, and Nelson's just going to pin the puck there, but it's going to come loose for Van Steensel with 3:30 left on the clock. Van Steensel gets it up and down to the Bulldog zone. And it's going to be Diaco who gets it up to Misek. Misek just gets it out of the reach of Barnsby. And then Van Vliet picks it up. Van Vliet almost loses it to White, and White nearly gives it up to McDonald, I should say. And now White carries it into the Battalion zone for Sims. Sims tries to get it over to White, and it goes through his stick and into the corner. Back quickly for Duarte, and then Nelson has to chase after it in his own zone. Arnsby with a big hit on Duarte in the near side half wall. And they're just going to pin the puck up and then go shoveling for it. Mathurin comes away with it, gives it to Arnsby, who gets it over to Nelson. Nelson looking up ice for some options, gets to McDonald. McDonald loses it, and Van Steensel nearly recovers. But Biondi turns around quickly with it. Biondi cross ice to Duarte, who takes the shot. It goes wide of the net, and he had that top corner picked. Nelson over to McDonald, who's been out there for a while as well. McDonald loses the handle on it somehow, and it's over back to Kramer in his own zone. Donovan gets it up ice quickly to Morrison. Morrison cross ice to Hayes, who gets it in the skate, and he had a wide open net as well. Battalion getting a little bit lucky on some of these looks from the Bulldogs. And Hayes now just quick one touched up to Morrison. Morrison tries to get around Christopoulos, and he does, but he can't get by Christopoulos' stick for the shot, and it's blocked in front by Christopoulos and goes wide. Jackson now gets it to Coe, who can't get it past Jackeye. And now it's Hayes that carries it in. Hayes gets it out front. Petrov's going to knock it down the ice for Jackeye to chase after. 1:30 now left in the second. Christopoulos recovers it in his own zone. Coe goes up ice for Potaloo. And Potaloo's taken into the boards by Jackeye. Simo, one of the goal scorers for the Troops, comes out on the ice, but the puck's over to Morrison. Quickly over to Hayes. Quick shot by Humphrey, I should say. And now it's Potaloo and Romani. Potaloo over to Ladd. Is behind him. He takes the shot. It's blocked in front by Kramer, who drops it right in front of Costantini with 1:07. Another stoppage in play.
So eerie how quiet this building has gotten after that fourth goal. It's almost like it's taken the whole air out of this building, and the seventh man has been smothered and not able to get anything going. That last 3.5 minutes, just not like you could hear any of the crowd at all. All you can hear from up here is the sticks and the skates, the puck hitting the ice. Just nothing coming out of this seventh man. Something has to change here. We need the help of the seventh man to try and get back into this.
For sure, they were loud when the Battalion tied it at 3. Like you said, it's like a ghost town out there now. Diaco Gets the puck up ice for McTavish. And Nelson takes McTavish into the boards. Winslow and Winterton battling for it. Puck comes out for McDonald. McDonald gets over to Van Steensel, who tries to bat it out. And then Van Steensel takes it away from Winterton over to Arnsby. Arnsby lining up a hit with Grushnikov. And Arnsby almost comes away with it. Winslow keeping it into the Bulldogs zone. That's the puck in deep for Grushnikov. 29 seconds here left in the second period of play. And the Bulldogs are going to carry it up and into the Battalion zone. McTavish has the puck hop over his stick, but it goes deep in for the Battalion zone for Winslow. Winslow stripped of the puck by McTavish, but Nelson was there quickly to knock him to the ice. 13 seconds left, and the puck's up the ice and all the way down for a quick icing call. With 7.7 seconds left on the clock. 4-3 Bulldogs lead, and a glorious chance for them here to get a late one, Derek.
Yeah, a big opportunity for the Bulldogs, but even bigger for the North Bay Battalion. You don't want to give up a goal here with 7.7 seconds left in this second period and go down 2 goals here heading into the intermission. Big draw here for Wakely to take against Morrison as he's taking it to the right-hand glove hand or blocker side of Dom DeVincentis.
Big face-off win here for the Battalion as Winslow gets it up and out of his zone. 4 seconds left on the clock. White takes the hit from Tarasevich. That's going to do it for this one here. Oh, it's not, as a hand pass is called with 0.1 seconds left on the clock.
Not quite yet. 0.1 seconds left before the horn goes. McCrank laughing about it as he looks up at the clock to see how much time is left on the boards. As nobody prepares for the face-off, he'll just throw it to the ice. And with that, the end of the first 2 periods come to a close. The Battalion trail the Bulldogs by a score of 4-3 here through 40 minutes of play.
Yeah, that they do, Derek, but the Battalion putting up some fight, and that's arguably, we talked about the first period being their best period. They still were scored on twice by the by the Bulldogs in that one, but I would argue that's an even better period here so far in this series between the Battalion and the Bulldogs. We're going to bring Mr. Bob Coles in now to take you through the second intermission, and of course, friend of the show, friend of the broadcast as well, Brady Leavold's back for another round of talking here with you as well, Bob.
Yeah, more tough questions for Brady Leavold. I hope he can handle it, but I think he's going to be okay here as he's getting set up. So we'll talk to Brady in a second. Let's go through the OHL scoreboard. Just one other game tonight. Windsor 3, Flint 2. That's about 8.5 minutes left in the second period. Game 3 of that series tied at 1 after 2 games in Windsor. Tonight's game in Flint, of course. As for the stats in this one, in the first period, Matvei Petrov opened the scoring. His second playoff goal from Paul Christopoulos and Anthony Romani. Then the Avery Hayes show took over. Back-to-back goals, 5 for the series, 7 on the playoffs, 1 shorthanded, 1 5-on-5. Mark Duard made it 3-1 at 34 seconds of the second from George Diaco and Jan Mysak. And then the Battalion got cooking. Anthony Romani's third from Michael Padalou and Nick Sema at 4:08. 8:05, Sema with his first playoff goal from Petrov and Mathurin. And then the go-ahead goal right now in this one, Logan Morrison's 12th from Avery Hayes again and Marco Costantini, 11:25. Penalties in that period, 117, Kyle McDonald for boarding, Gavin White for hooking for Hamilton at 8:36. The shots were 14-13 North Bay, 24-22 Hamilton overall. Power plays, each team 0 for 2. Faceoffs won 26-18 for the Bulldogs. So let's bring in Brady Leavold. Brady, puck support, of course, and we've talked about puck support before. Let's talk about this this game. North Bay, I think, had a pretty good period, but that's some team out there, the Hamilton Bulldogs. I mean, they play the game hard every shift. North Bay's young guys are really stepping up tonight, and I think that's the takeaway for me after 2 periods.
Yeah, I see very much the same things you're seeing out there, but what I see is that the Hamilton Bulldogs do not like to be hit. They're physical, they like to hit, but you notice in that second period, the Battalion laid on the body and they put the puck in the net a couple of times based off a couple great forechecks. It's nice to see Anthony Romani chipping in with Russell down. I mean, that's a tough spot to fill, but when a 16 can jump in the lineup and contribute up front with a goal and an assist, I mean, it's great for the future of this hockey club.
Yeah, Nick Sema, Anthony Romani, Dallin Wakely, Michael Podaloo, Ty Nelson. I mean, the cupboard isn't bare for the next couple of years for the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah, I mean, I think focusing on right now, we're still in exciting times here in North Bay. But let's not forget that this is a team that is built to win over the next couple of years. They have some really nice key pieces moving along here in the future.
Let's bring in the guys here. Second period, I thought that was North Bay's best period of the series. I mean, in terms of, it seemed to me the Kyle McDonald hit, even though it resulted in a penalty, really got the bench going, right? And they responded, and they really picked up their game after killing that penalty.
Yeah, and the Battalion, like you said, the Battalion, that's probably their best period this playoffs. I mean, yeah, you still had 2 goals, but you evened it up, 2-2 in that period against the Bulldogs. So that's the best period this playoff or this series against the Bulldogs. And as Brady said, like, you saw it right there with McDonald. They don't like to be hit. These are skilled and finesse kids that like to have space. And that's usually why you see Jack-Eye out there laying the body. He's a big boy, and that's his job, is to go out there and create space for a McTavish or guys like that, right? And once they start getting hit, we saw McTavish down in the corner a couple of times. He doesn't like it very much, Derek.
No, and that's the key, is you got to be physical against this team, but not over the line, and that's the hard part that some of these players find. And I think that hit was right in front by McDonald, was right in front of the North Bay Battalion bench. They probably saw it not as a penalty, but as a good hit, just being uncalled, and they took it upon themselves that we need to kill this one off and just gain momentum, and that's exactly what they need to do, is just carry this momentum. Don't roll over and die. Just pick up the momentum and look for that next goal.
And Brady, NHL guys play with, they're not like unemotional, but when they hit, you never see the enthusiasm that the junior players have for the game, right? That's one of the great things about junior hockey. It's unpredictable. You get all kind of crazy stuff happening, but it's just the joy these kids play with, right?
Yeah, I've said it for a long time too, as I'm sure a lot of people have. I'd way rather be here watching a junior hockey playoff game than an NHL playoff game. I mean, don't get me wrong. The NHL is great. The playoffs are great, but when you're here and you see these kids that have that drive to get to that next level, and they just have that passion and love for the game, it's really quite exciting. And just going back to that penalty, I'm not sure it's a penalty, but as a former player, that's one that you don't mind killing off. It's not a tripping penalty in the offensive zone or a demoralizing penalty. It's right in front of your guys, right in the bench, and it obviously got those guys going. They just need to find a way to get a couple more and shut the door. I've noticed they've had a little bit of difficult time closing games out even prior to this series. They get up and they just need to find a way to keep that door shut, and Dom's doing a great job. Another young prospect too. They got a good young goalie playing in that's going to be here for the next couple of years.
Now, you played junior hockey, you played in the playoffs. What is this time of year like for a junior hockey player? You got North Bay, they're entering the third period, they're down a goal. They've really got to win this game. They got to win this period coming up. And Hamilton, they want to hold on to the game and feel they're in pretty good shape if they close this game out. So what's this time of year like?
Well, I mean, it's exciting, no doubt, and we're now in the conference finals. I mean, it's right there. They're one step away from getting to the OHL finals, and this is something to be excited about. There's 20 minutes left. We just saw what they did in the last 20 minutes. I have confidence that they can definitely come back. They win tonight. They have another chance to play here on Friday and go back 2-2. Things are looking a lot different going back into Hamilton, and that's the beauty about hockey, is you just never know, and it can often come down to the last couple minutes or last couple seconds.
Okay, Derek, what are you looking for in this third period from the Battalion here?
I want to see them come out right from the get-go, start playing that physical game, keep Hamilton off of their game plan, and try and get that quick one early here in the third period. They got one quick in the first. If they can do it here in the third period, get the seventh man back into it, make it a loud building, and make it difficult on Hamilton.
Of course, Courtney, you were there in Hamilton on Sunday for Game 2. Obviously, the Battalion discipline tonight's been the big story. They're playing physical. but they're not doing those silly hits that result in penalties like they did the other day.
No, and that's kind of like, I mean, they were already down at a lot of those moments, but those penalties just help bury you even more in that game. I mean, one player I've really liked, we keyed in on him at the beginning of the game, and I know Brady, your buddies with him, is Liam Arnsby. He's taken a couple of bad penalties in this series, but he's looked really mature in this game. He's had, he's been physical. He hasn't crossed that line. It looks like he's really taken his role as the captain here very seriously tonight, and I've been really impressed with his play, and especially, coming after game 2, where it wasn't just him, it was Wakely as well, took a bad penalty, a couple of bad penalties. The Battalion have done great on the penalty kill here tonight. And Van Steensel, like we mentioned in the first intermission, blocking shots. Everyone's buying in this time of year.
Yeah, and about Arnsby, it's his first time he's been to this round. It's his first playoff run. I mean, he didn't make the playoffs in year 1 because the season ended early. As we all know, there was no season 2 in his career. So this is his 3rd season, but it's his first playoffs, and I got a sense, not only him, but some of the other players, they were really nervous in the first game, and yeah, they did go over the line a little with some of their hits in game 2, but they seem they're just playing hockey tonight. They're playing physical, but they're just out there playing. They're not playing nervous, and it's good to see just the growth throughout a series.
Yeah, and I think, too, when you think of a guy like Liam, who is really the grit and sandpaper, he does a lot of other things on this team, but I think he probably led this team in fighting majors and the physicality department, and all of a sudden you're playing a big, strong Hamilton team with some guys who can fight, but also lay the body, and all of a sudden here you are, like you just said, he doesn't have a ton of experience, not just because of COVID in his first year, and now you're kind of finding yourself as that guy to pull the team together, where there's probably a number of guys in that dressing room who are feeling exactly like you described, the nerves. There's probably 3 or 4 guys that could probably play in the NHL on that team next year, one for sure, let's say, and that can be a tough task, but I like to see him out here tonight doing what he's doing, not going over the line, and it's made a big difference for the team, and Liam's the best penalty killer on the team, in my opinion, so when he's taking bad penalties, and then also he's not able to kill that penalty, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, so I'm really hopeful for this game and also for the future of the Battalion.
What I noticed tonight, guys, with the young guys, I think I made a comment to Courtney in our group chat the other day. The Battalion in Game 2 were learning a lesson. We're being taught a lesson by the Hamilton Bulldogs, a more experienced team. But tonight, they're learning their lessons, right? And we're seeing the results of that already tonight.
Well, and they're learning their lessons in real time, whereas in Game 2, they, kind of, as soon as Hamilton started teaching those lessons that we're talking about, the Battalion just kind of crumpled in on themselves, whereas tonight they're standing up for themselves. They're really pushing back hard, and that's something that Jay McKee, the head coach of the Bulldogs, said post-game, Game 2. He said, we have a lot of respect for this team. They're a dangerous team, and they're showing it here tonight that, it's good reason for Jay McKee to worry about this team so far.
Derek, any of the young guys really stand out for you tonight for North Bay?
How much more can you say about Romani and Sema tonight? They've been involved in all 3 of the goals, each of them picking up a goal themselves. They're just playing with a lot of heart and learning those invaluable lessons that are going to stay with them throughout the future of their careers here in the OHL and hopefully here in North Bay.
Okay, guys, and before we let you go, you got your puck support hat on, and just tell people who haven't heard, you've been on a couple times talking about puck support, but what puck support is all about and how people can get involved.
Yeah, we're really just looking to ignite change in mental health and create programs and solutions for hockey players, parents, coaches, basically the entire hockey family, with things related to mental health and substance abuse and education and what that looks like, and definitely some of the roads that are often not talked about but are traveled quite often in hockey when we look at things like injuries and how do we deal with that? How do we deal with moving away from home and all the stresses and pressures? It's something that has got a little bit more attention in the last few years, but we're really looking to bring it to the forefront here.
Well, you're doing great work. I know you work with a couple of the Battalion players, and it's all positive as they develop and move on in their careers. So here in North Bay.
Yeah, and I just when you look at a guy like Anthony Romani and Sema, and I played with a lot of guys in junior hockey and pro hockey that never even made it out of the first round, and here you have a couple young guys in their first years getting to experience what it's like to play in a third round. And if you don't think that's going to pay dividends in the future, I mean, holy, it's exciting times for the North Bay Battalion.
Okay, Brady Levo, thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the game. And we'll touch base with Courtney and Derek as we wrap up our intermission here. And Derek, what are you looking for in the third period here? North Bay entering it down a goal. You know, I know they want to get the next goal, obviously, but in terms of the messages, what do you think the message is from Coach Houlihan and company?
To me, it's battle to the end of this game. Even if you give up that next goal, keep battling. Those are the lessons that you're going to take with you. Try and get back into it. It's only one goal. Keep battling. Let's try and get that next goal. And it's just key. Stay in it. You know you can skate with this Hamilton Bulldogs team now. You've got 3 goals. It's only a 4-3 game through 40 minutes of play. Let's see what we can do in that third period, and maybe the bounces will go our way and we can come out of here with a victory.
And if you're Hamilton, you know you're getting North Bay's best effort so far in the series tonight. What do you think's going on in Jay McKee's head right now?
Keep the foot on the pedal. Don't give up. You can't give this Battalion team any space. We've seen what can happen when we give them space. Look at what happened when we gave Petrov some space. Let's take away that space and time. Let's pressure those North Bay Battalion players to try and make passes before they're ready and stick to our game plan. We've got a 1-goal lead. Let's shut down this third period of play.
Well, of course, Hamilton leading 4-3. If you're just joining us, it's game 3. Hamilton took the first 2 games. Been an exciting game. Hamilton up 2-1 after 1, including a shorthanded goal. They went up 3-1 early in the period. North Bay tied it, and then Hamilton with a late goal to move ahead 4-3 after 40 minutes. Game 4 will be coming up on Friday night, and we'll have it for you in your game day broadcast. And 6:50 will be the airtime. Matt Sukram will be here, be doing the call, and Courtney will move into Derek's spot as Derek's busy pursuing his professional baseball career. But
no, I'm going to my son's last junior hockey banquet.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
I'm doing fatherly things.
Okay. Well, and hello to Ty as well. And it's the last banquet of his career. And I know Ty was drafted. We haven't talked about Ty in the air, but
drafted in 2016.
Yeah, by the Battalion, right?
Yeah, right here by the North Bay Battalion. And the way he told me is that he needs my help to go down there to bring home the hardware that he's hoping to win.
Well, Ty, I know your dad's enjoyed your career, and good luck in your future endeavors, and have fun at the banquet, and make sure Derek doesn't eat too much.
Oh, it'll be fun, and food always has to be involved. How are the fries though at Osprey? I think you owe somebody some fries.
Are we getting a sponsorship from Osprey Links?
I think we should. We should have one of our golfer friends pay.
Where were you? We did our pregame meeting on the golf course today.
Oh, sorry. Some of us work for a living, Derek. Also on the fatherly thing, I understand the sentiment. You're fired, though.
Thanks.
So big third period coming up for the North Bay Battalion as they try to tie this game. Great second period and trying to continue the momentum. And one thing we really haven't talked about, Derek, is the crowd tonight. The crowd is really into this game. I mean, they are really trying to pull the Battalion home here in game 3.
They are, but I want more out of this team, or out of the fans. I find that they're only cheering when the North Bay Battalion are scoring or a big hit. I want them being loud, right from puck drop, right through to the end of every whistle. Let's make it hard on the Hamilton Bulldogs and get into the game. Let's hear the 7th man.
So we into the third period. We'll still be playing, or we'll be in our post-game show, and we'll talk about the game with Derek as we wrap up our coverage of game 3. It's 4-3 Hamilton, and the third's about to start. And here's Courtney and Derek to call it for you.
Thanks a lot, Bob, and looking forward to catching up with you post-game to discuss tonight's activity and take a look at the other game going on in the Western Conference. That's game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. That series deadlocked at 1 apiece, but the series switches to Flint for the next 2 games, as it is here now in North Bay for these 2 games tonight. And Friday night for Game 4. After 40 minutes of play, the Hamilton Bulldogs lead the North Bay Battalion by a score of 4-3. But with 20 minutes left to play and only down 1, the Battalion have work to do to get back on even ground. Now for the call of the third period, let's welcome back Courtney Kenny.
Thank you very much, Derek, Bob, and Brady, as the puck's quickly out front in front of DiVincenzo's net. The Battalion in their home greens once again going right to left for the second time this game. The Bulldogs going left to right in their road whites as McDonald carries it out of his zone and all the way down to the Bulldogs zone. But quickly it's Misek who comes away with it. Misek gets it all the way down to the Battalion zone now, but Christopoulos is the first one on that. He leaves it for Van Steensel, who pins it up against the boards, but finally comes away with it. Christopoulos taking down Misek, gets it up to McDonald, leaves it for Jackson, who tried to get a pass over to the wing, the right wing side that is, and there's no one there for it. Ko now trying to get the puck away from Humphrey, who gets it quickly over to Grushnikov. Ko comes away with it, back to Jackson. Jackson's quick shot is off a stick and wide. Nelson now. Back over to Ko. Ko takes a shot. It's blocked in front by Grushnikov as Ko came away with his best chance since Game 1 when he scored. Winslow with the pass over to Nelson, but Humphrey gets a stick in the lane and the puck's up and out of play and into the stands, so someone's going home with a souvenir, Derek.
Yes, a pretty risky play there by Winslow trying to go across the blue line to his partner Nelson. Humphrey just getting a little unlucky as he tried to intercept that, and he would have been home free with nothing but clean ice between him and DiVincenzo. Unfortunate for the Battalion going off his stick and up into the crowd for a souvenir here.
Jack-Eye with the puck off the draw. Gets it up quickly to Morrison. Morrison through the neutral zone. Tries to go up ice for Hayes, and on the second attempt he gets it to him as Hayes had it behind the net. But Hayes' pass goes past Jack-Eye, and Kramer is going to pick it up in his own zone by Constantini's net. Kramer behind the net. Up to Morrison. Battalion making a change as that identity line gets a second shift of the period. McDonald up to Van Steensel. Van Steensel with a big hit on Donovan. Gets it over to Arnsby. Arnsby with the shot, and Costantini with the glove save. And Arnsby, we talked about him in the intermission with Brady Leavold and what the impact is with him as well. And he can score as well, although it has been a while for the captain.
Yes, Arnsby looking to find the score sheet again. Nice little shot release there as he kind of slingshot it, looking away and just hooking it back towards the goal, but Constantini finding it with that big glove of his.
Van Steensel taking down Van Vliet, the two Vans colliding into one another. And Winterton gets the puck back behind his own net, or behind the Battalion net, and McTavish blows a tire in the far side corner. Hit from Ladd on McTavish, knocks him down, and Arnsby knocks him down and keeps him down. Keeps on going as McTavish took Arnsby's stick, but the puck's up in the neutral zone for Van Steensel, who promptly deposits Donovan on his backside. McTavish back with the puck in his own zone. The Battalion going through another change as well. Donovan with the puck off the pass from McTavish, loses at the blue line. Potaloo knocked on his butt. And it's going to be Thomas who comes away with it with a quick shot from there. And what a save by DiVincenzo, but it's going to go off a body and behind the net. And the Battalion are going to find themselves back down 2 goals here in the third period. It's 5-3, Bulldogs lead.
Winterton finding that loose puck and making no mistake with his 5th goal of the playoffs here as DiVincenzo is getting a piece of it, but not enough to keep it out of the net. And there, I was just thinking of how Hamilton looked like they were struggling a bit to connect here in this third period of play to start, but they find a way to battle through it. Winterton finds a loose puck, and he deposits it behind DiVincenzo, giving them a 2-goal lead here. 2:34 gone in this third period of play.
For those counting at home, the Bulldogs lead have now scored 15 goals in 3 games against the Battalion. And the Battalion have scored just 5 in return. Duarte with the puck in the Battalion zone. Gets it to White. And it's back around the boards for Romani, who just dumps it out, and White picks it up in the neutral zone. 17:04 left on the clock. 2-goal deficit for the Battalion. And it's going to go up to Hayes, or Biondi, I should say, who takes the shot from the point. Christopoulos will recover and give it to Govro. Govro back to Christopoulos behind his net. Christopoulos is going to skate the puck up. Puck goes down the ice. Costantini stops it. White gets a hold of it, and then Wakely's going to come away with it, but he's going to leave it for his defenseman at Winslow to pick up in the neutral zone as the Battalion come out with that top line again. Now Wakely goes off for a change. White carries it into Hayes. He's going to get cross ice for Humphrey, who almost had a clean look at DiVincentis. The puck couldn't settle down. Morrison with the pass out front. It's blocked by Winslow. Jackson picks it up in his own zone. And he gets it over to Nelson. Jackson chases after the dump in from Nelson. Jackey's first on it, and then Hayes picks it up. Now Petrov comes away with it. Petrov goes back to the blue line for Winslow, and Winslow can't get it past Hayes on the corner. Petrov keeping it in. Gets the puck around Jackey. Gets it out front quickly for Coe. Coe hits it off the post, and the Battalion were inches away from getting one back. And they say baseball is a game of inches. Humphrey through the neutral zone. Gets a good poke check by Coe. It's left to the blue line. And Tarasevic now gets a hold of it. Tarasevic through the neutral zone. Gets it up. Gets around Kramer. Podolou goes after it with Jackey. Puck comes back to the blue line for Christopoulos. Christopoulos with the shot. It's blocked by Humphrey. Humphrey laboring a little bit, getting back up. Christopoulos picks the puck back up and promptly loses it to Diaco. Diaco up to Shirk. Now Mathurin picks it up. He goes cross ice though as Mathurin lost it. And Misek almost gets a chance. Romani now skating the puck through the neutral zone. He's looked good this game as we mentioned in the intermission. He holds it in at the Hamilton zone. He goes cross ice for Podolou, but it's in his skates so he couldn't get a good shot away. Podolou holding on to it. Gets the puck to Mathurin, who tries to go for a nifty looking backhand. Instead it's into the corner. And Tarasevic had it. Puck now rimmed around for Romani, who gets it out front. Constantini's going to pounce on that one. 5-3 Bulldogs lead with 14:40 left in the third period. Or you get a stoppage in play. Shots on goal 26-24 in favor of the Bulldogs as well.
Good pushback here from that line of Tarasevic, Romani, and Podolou, as again they keep the puck in the offensive zone. Unfortunately, not getting any good looks at net. You talk about the shots, 26-24. To me, Hamilton has dominated in this shot category, shot attempts. So many good quality shots coming from the Hamilton Bulldogs that are just inches away and missing the net. And it's just what the difference is the Hamilton Bulldogs seem to get quality chances and looking to score every time they have that puck.
Winterton with the puck as the Bulldogs go back through the neutral zone. And it's dumped in on DiVincentis' net. He blocks it away. Winslow out there with Ladd now, so a different looking deep pairing for the Battalion. Van Steensel quickly up to Armsby, who gives it to McDonald, and a blind no-look pass. Loses it to Thomas in the neutral zone. The Bulldogs are back in the Battalion zone, but Winslow picks it up, passes it over to Armsby, but it's out of his reach, so White picks it back up in his own zone. Rushnikov to Winslow. Winslow picking it off over to McDonald. McDonald tries to skate it past White. And McDonald ends up getting a weird shot attempt, but it's off the side of the net. Winterton over to Grushnikov. Up to McTavish. McTavish over to White. White's been everywhere in this game. Not bad for a bottom pairing defenseman. Out front to Diaco, to Hayes. And it's Coe who picks it up as Hayes lost the handle on it. Petrov looks cross ice and gives it to Jackson. Jackson in the Bulldog zone. Gets taken on the boards by Jackey. And Jackson and Jackey mixing it up a little bit now. Diaco over to Hayes. Hayes tries to dance around Mathurin, but he gets stripped of the puck, and Mathurin quickly on the attack. Just decides to dump it into the Bulldog zone, and Morrison will be first on that one. Morrison behind his net. Leaves it for Jackey. Gives it back to Hayes cross ice. Hayes on the near side through the neutral zone. Gets it around Mathurin, and when Nelson goes for the puck, he leaves it there, but Hayes picks it up. And Mathurin gets it over to Wakely. Sema loses the handle on it. Kramer is going to get it. And now Romani's going to go off for a bit of a jump. Romani gets to it, but Donovan has a good stick and knocks it away as Romani carries it out into the slot. Romani held on to it for a second too long, and Diaco gets the puck off him, and now we're going to have a penalty call here as Romani was taken down hard, and now Wakely's going after a man. And we talked about this after game two. Derek, I don't think the Battalion and Bulldogs like each other too much.
No, after playing in only 4 games during the regular season, splitting those games, each team winning one on the road. But yeah, just getting into a 3-game series so far, being heated, and a late hit there by Sema as the Bulldog player was going down. Drew a little bit of a crowd there, and just going to see what happens as the referees get together at center ice to discuss what's going to be called for the penalties. The initial call is going to Diaco of the Hamilton Bulldogs, who will get the only penalty here, 2 minutes for tripping at 12:37. This North Bay Battalion power play is proudly supported by 7N1D Noah Strong campaign. Visit them at noahstrong.ca and see what they're involved in the community. Again, that's noahstrong.ca. This is the third power play opportunity for the North Bay Battalion, with the Hamilton Bulldogs scoring the only goal on any of those power plays, coming shorthanded in the first period of play.
Petrov, cross ice for Coe. It's off his skate, and Jackson recovers it. Back to Arnsby, who gets it back to Coe. Coe quickly cross ice for Petrov. Petrov with a quick shot. It's blocked by Kramer. The Battalion have a glorious chance to get right back in this game with 1:40 left on the power play, as DiVincentis is out to play it and leave it for Nelson. Nelson do the drop pass once again for Coe. And Coe carries it up through the neutral zone. Coe trying to take on the whole Bulldogs by himself. He walks in. Brandon Coe with a great attempt, but Costantini with the foot gets it out and stops Coe. Once again, the Battalion looking to get back within 1, and it's a game of inches for Brandon Coe.
Yeah, Brandon Coe with a great individual effort, getting through all 4 Hamilton Bulldogs, but probably getting in a little too close to Costantini to try and make a move so tightly into him, as he goes tumbling over top of Costantini as he gets that left pad out. But with 1:25 remaining in the man advantage, they have a great opportunity here if they want to cut into this lead before the midway point of this third period.
Buy yourself as much time as possible to try and chip away at a 1-goal deficit as opposed to 2. As Jack-Eye gets the puck down to DiVincentis to play it. Nelson's going to pick it up behind his net. Nelson, of course, you know what's coming. The drop pass for Jackson this time. And Jackson carries it into the Bulldogs zone. He's going to go offside, however. So the Battalion have to regroup with 59 seconds left on the power play opportunity. Kramer looks up ice, and he just dumps it down for Coe to pick up. And Coe leaves it for Nelson behind DiVincentis' net. Nelson going up ice, wearing a letter with Russell's absence. Gets it in for Petrov on the near side half wall. He loses it to Kramer. Kramer loses the handle to Jackson, though. Jackson out front to Nelson is going to go the length of the ice, as Nelson wasn't there. 30 seconds now left on the man advantage for the Battalion. Petrov picks it up in his own zone. He skates it around, goes through the neutral zone. And he's going to try and do what Coe did and go through all the Bulldogs, but instead he takes it to the perimeter, takes a sharp angle shot. Winslow picks up the rebound and gets it back over to Petrov. Petrov goes to the point for Nelson. Nelson, who stayed out there this entire time. 8 seconds left on the man advantage. He's going to come around to Coe, and he's going to dump it in for Winslow. Man advantage coming to an end for the Battalion. It's quickly for Jackson, who gets a shot and it goes off the net. It's quickly to Coe in the slot. Coe takes the shot, and it's over the net and into the netting. So the Battalion didn't get a goal on that one. 5-3 after that power play opportunity, and the Bulldogs have done a good job of killing off these penalties against the Battalion.
Yeah, when the Bulldogs are on that penalty kill, they're in no panic mode. When they get that puck in their own zone, they're looking at how they can create that into an offensive threat. Number of times we've seen the forwards blow the zone before that puck is even sent out. They're looking at scoring on that shorthand and creating chances. They don't have any panic. If there's nothing there, they don't mind regrouping and letting the D play catch a little bit until the Battalion will force them to ice the puck. That's not their first thought, is icing that puck. They're just trying to create a scoring chance any way they can.
Wakely up on that identity line now, as Arnsby was out there for a long time on the power play. So taking his place as Wakely goes after White in the Bulldog zone. The puck is banked down the ice, and it's going to go for icing here, as it's past DiVincentis' net, and Ladd's going to recover it. So we're going to get another face-off in the Bulldog zone.
Yeah, face-off coming with 10:13 left here in this third period of play, with them Battalion trailing by 2 goals. It's important for the Battalion to start creating some chances I want to see them getting a little bit more movement and fluidity going through that neutral zone. I find the Bulldogs are doing an excellent job of climbing up that neutral zone and slowing things down and not allowing the Battalion really to enter the offensive zone with any speed at all.
Jackson losing the draw to the Bulldogs, and the puck comes back out into the neutral zone. Thomas gets it up quickly, but Jackson quickly on the counterattack. Jackson takes his man into the boards with Grushnikov losing his stick. And Jack is just going to flip it up and out of the Bulldog zone for Thomas. McTavish into the Battalion zone. Shoots the puck wide of DiVincentis' net. Jackson gets the puck up to Petrov, who gets it quickly over to Coe. Coe up to Nelson, who loses the handle on that one, and the puck goes back to Petrov. Petrov up to Nelson. Nelson trying to will his team to a victory as well. Loses the puck, and the Bulldogs quickly counter. Humphrey takes the shot. It goes over DiVincentis' net. And it's back out to the neutral zone for Donovan. 9:20 now left in the third period. 5-3 Bulldogs lead. And the puck sent in deep on DiVincentis' net. No icing. And it's left for Humphrey in the far side corner. Donovan gets the puck in. Mathurin picks it up. Mathurin sends it down the ice. He's going to go for icing, however, as Van Vliet's going to be the first one back. That'll bring us to our mid-period break with 8:59 left in the third period. And let's bring Mr. Bob Coles back in for our mid-period break. Bob?
Yeah, just one goal in the period. So far, Ryan Winterden made it 5-3. And Hamilton, as Derek says, doing a great job in front of Constantini, not giving up a lot. And so North Bay's just going to have to take some more chances, maybe bring more people into the offensive zone. It's not desperation time yet, but you'd like to get that fourth goal by the 5-minute mark, and then you can really push to try to tie it up. In the post-game show, we'll talk about tonight's game and where the Battalion sit after 3 games in this Eastern Conference final, and I'll be joined by Derek Lindemann for that. Don't forget, Friday night, Game 4, 6:50 on your game day broadcast. Guys?
Thanks a lot, Bob. Looking forward to talking to you post-game about tonight's game and taking a look at that Western Conference Championship Final. Game 3 underway in Flint today. That series is tied up at 1 game apiece. Tonight's attendance just announced at 2480, so a smaller than expected crowd here for Game 3 in this Eastern Conference Championship game, as the Bulldogs, with 8:59 left in this third period, lead the North Bay Battalion by a score of 5-3. Courtney, bring us through the final 9 minutes of play.
Thank you, Derek. And like I said earlier, disgusting attendance number. The Battalion they built a winner for you. You complained about a winner for years, and they built one for you, and you're not out here supporting this team. We want you to listen to the broadcast, but come on out to the Gardens and watch these kids play. Friday could very well be the final game of the Battalion season, so come on out Friday. Battalion get the puck down to the Bulldog zone. Of course, depending on the what happens in this one and Friday. Come on down to the Gardens. It might be your last chance until September. Battalion fighting for possession with Donovan in their Bulldog zone, and the Bulldogs get it up and over the blue line. Shirk with it in the neutral zone, leaves it for Mysick, and Van Stevenson's going to knock it back into the Bulldog zone. Get a Go Troops Go chant going here. And like you said, Derek, the first one where they haven't scored. Battalion finally coming live as Christopoulos gets a high stick, so we're going to get another penalty here against the Bulldogs. And Van Vliet's going to touch it up, so that'll activate the penalty for the Battalion here with a high stick against Christopoulos.
So a glorious opportunity with 8:10 left in this third period to cut into that 2-goal lead as the Hamilton Bulldogs. Shurik picks up a 2-minute high sticking penalty with 8:10 left. This North Bay power play is supported by 7N1D Noah Strong. That's the noahstrong.ca campaign. Go check them out on the internet and see what they're up to these days in the community. Just getting noticed that it's going to be a 4-minute high sticking penalty, so an opportunity if the Battalion can capitalize here to even tie things up on the power play.
Well, the Battalion helping out the Bulldogs by dumping the puck into their own zone. And Nelson being chased hard by Thomas, and he's going to hold on to it in his own zone. Nelson carries it up, leaves it for Coe. Coe skates it over the neutral zone into the Bulldog zone. He's going to rim it around the boards, and Arnsby and Petrov are going to go after it. Bulldogs quickly back on the counterattack. Those are going to have a makeshift 2-on-1. Hayes cross ice for Thomas, and he never got a chance at it. And Arnsby's going to try and pick it back up in the Battalion zone. 3:24 left on this 4-minute power play. Remember, the Battalion, if they score within the first 2 minutes, still have a 2-minute advantage. Petrov getting the puck into the Bulldogs zone. Nobody can gain the Bulldogs zone here. So that first face-off where they dumped it down the ice, really doing the Bulldogs favors here because the Battalion can't get set up at all. Coe dumps it in. Kramer just going to set up, and the Battalion just already know they're going to lose possession in the offensive zone, so they just collapse into their own zone. McTavish now over to Duarte. Duarte with the shot, and DiVincentis stops it. Who's on the power play here, guys? Come on. Kramer gets the puck back in his own zone. Up to Jackeye. Over to Duarte. They're just playing keep away with 2:34 left on the power play. And they're going to dump it down the ice, but Ladd's going to pick it up at his blue line, skate in his own zone and slow things down. Ladd to Winslow. Winslow's going to go for a skate with it. He's going to dump across ice. Wakely's going to come in, try and get a shot, but it's going to tip up onto Costatini. And look at that, the first scoring chance on that power play for the Battalion.
Came on a pop fly to the catcher as Constantini easily reaches up and grabs that. 2:15 remaining in the 4-minute power play to the Hamilton Bulldogs. No wonder the Hamilton Bulldogs have killed off 86.84% of their penalties that they've given up so far in this power play. They sure dominate the PK by trying to keep that puck away and not allow the Battalion in any easy entries.
And another face-off win ends up being into the Battalion zone, so the Battalion have to regroup. Van Steensel carries it up, and Wakely's going to dump it in for Winslow to chase after. Winslow and Grushnikov hit each other in the corner, and then Van Steensel is going to get it out to Ladd, and look at that, the Battalion helping out the Bulldogs again, sending it all the way down the ice. Ladd picks it up in his own zone, leaves it for Nelson and goes for a change. As the Battalion try and bring out that top unit again with 1:40 left on the power play. Brandon Coe to Jackson. Jackson dumps it in. Jackeye first on it. He's going to get a hold of it and wins. Arnsby's going to come away with it, and he's had a golden opportunity in front of the net. And over to Coe, and Brandon Coe with 5:36 left in the third period gets a power play goal. It's 5-4. Bulldogs lead.
Brandon Coe with this power play goal here, making it 5-4 with 5:36 left in this third period of play. That's his 7th goal of the playoffs as the Battalion close to within one here. 5:36 left. North Bay Battalion still have life here into the dying minutes of this game. First opportunity, basically the first shot on net in that 4-minute advantage, coming as Coe just finds a way to tip it in as it's still quickly under review here. As we mentioned earlier, all reviews coming from Toronto as the thumbs up are given. So it's a 1-goal game here, 5:36 left in this third period.
Bulldogs with the puck in their own zone. Kramer gets it up for Tiaco to knock it in. DiVincentis out to play it. Maybe ill-advised as there was a couple of Bulldogs in there and they almost got a chance, but the Battalion doing a good job defensively of keeping them from getting a chance. Kramer takes the shot, but Mathurin blocks it on his knee. And now Coe just keeping it away from Shirk. Up to Mathurin. Goes cross ice for Jackson. Jackson goes back for Christopoulos. Gives it to Mathurin. Mathurin knocks it in. No icing on that one as Petrov got a hold of it. 4:55 now left in the third period of game 3. Battalion looking to take one of these games as they're down 2-0 in the series. Nelson off his skate and into his own zone. Skates around the back of his net. Gives it to Tarasevic. Tarasevic trying to get it up and out. And it's to White. White over to Grushnikov. Up to Hayes. Hayes leaves it for Humphrey. And Humphrey's going to go cross ice and dump it in on the far side corner. Nelson behind his net. Going to dump it up for Tarasevic. And it's going to go past his stick with 4:21 left in the third. And White's going to pick it back up. Hayes now tries to jump it in for McTavish. And it's over to Arnsby. Arnsby holding on to it, tries to get it up for Tarasevic. We'll keep an eye on DiVincentis for you with 4 minutes to go. Arnsby to Tarasevic. Karasevich looks to walk it out. Oh, McDonald on the rebound had a good chance, but it was just out of his reach. Nelson sends it back in for Grushnikov. Grushnikov over to White. White being pressured by McDonald, gets it up to Grushnikov. And McTavish is going to dump it in, or Thomas rather. Mathurin goes up ice, but it's left at the blue line for Winterton. And Mathurin's going to pick it back up. Skated out of the zone himself. Mathurin dumps it in. McDonald's going to chase after it. He's going to be in the corner with Jack-Eye. Jack-Eye's going to come away with it, however. Mathurin got a stick up on it. Bulldogs looking for a high sticking call, but none's coming as Van Steensel skates it back in. Arnsby was stripped of the puck, and Humphrey's going to pick it back up. 3:18 now left in the third period of game number 3. Grayson Ladd, puck behind his net, looks up ice. He's going to dump it down. It's going to go off a stick, though, and back into Section 4. And so people in Section 4 tonight coming away with some souvenirs, Derek.
Yeah, a couple pucks going up into that section, coming through as a towel getting thrown quickly up into the Section 4 as it's being held to a fan. Hopefully not too serious there as the medics quickly get over to provide some assistance as she's given the puck by a fan nearby. So with 3:05 remaining in this third period, the Battalion trail by 1 goal here. 5-4 face-off coming at dead center ice.
Bulldogs athletic staff making sure she's being taken care of too from the bench, looking up just to make sure. As plays back underway as it goes for icing. So the puck's going to come down to the Bulldog zone with 2:58, and once again the most wonderful advertisement we have here at North Bay Memorial Gardens.
Well, everyone does know what that horn is and know exactly what is happening when you hear that horn anywhere in this city. But yeah, how many times do you need to ring it here in one time? 3 times. I think everyone heard it. All 24,000 or 2,400 people here in attendance tonight.
24,000.
I thought I was at the Jays game.
I was going to say. Looking forward to getting a few more of those in this year. Winslow behind his net. And Costantini, it just hits the side of his net and he lets it go. Morrison, 2:45 now left in the third. Gets the puck up. Winslow chips it past Coe. Gets it back to Winslow. Coe over to Nelson, who looks up ice for Petrov, and it's off his stick quickly. And Hayes had a chance at it, but then the two whack at the puck, and it's going to float up into the Bulldogs bench.
So another souvenir going as that puck is out of play here with 2:27 left. Face-off coming just outside the Bulldogs blue line right in front of their own bench. Battalion countering with the Arnsby line as McTavish is out there for the Bulldogs. That line has done wonders against that McTavish line so far in this series, shutting them down in all 3 games.
Has indeed. We've seen how lethal this Battalion team can be when they have last change as well. As the Battalion get the puck up into their own zone as Christopoulos chips it up and out for Van Steensel. We can see the walking wounded for the Battalion as well in the corner too. Outwater clearly in a sling. As White picks it up with 2 minutes left in the third period. And it's going to be dumped down. And we're going to get another stoppage and play with 1:58 left in the third.
So with just under 2 minutes here to play, it's going to be eyes all on Dom DeVincentes to see when they make that move to take him out of the net to get the extra attacker. 1:58 left, face-off coming at dead center ice. And you talked about the walking wounded. We see Outwater down there in the corner with the sling on, and Mitchell Russell down there standing beside GM Adam Dennis signing autographs for some fans.
Memorial Cup champ Adam Dennis, that is, to you. As, you know, who wouldn't want an autograph from Adam Dennis when he's won the Memorial Cup with the London Knights in 2005. Misek now comes around with a sharp angle shot. It's quickly out front, and it misses the net for Morrison. Winslow picks it up, gets it up for Petrov. Petrov goes to Jackson, who wasn't paying attention. It goes right by him for Nelson to pick up. Nelson looking up ice. Minute 28 left now. You got to think DeVincentes is going to go if he's going to go, and he does. Battalion have an empty net. Coe was taken down hard. No call coming. And the puck goes down the ice once again into the Battalion zone for Winslow to pick up. 1:12 left as McDonald comes out. McDonald has been buzzing this game as well. He skates the puck through the neutral or through the slot area, but can't get a good chance. And the Bulldogs are just going to dump it back down. Christopoulos. He's looking up ice now. Christopoulos leaves it for Nelson. 50 seconds left on the clock for the Battalion. 5-4 lead for the Bulldogs as they dump it in. Coe gets it into the corner. It's back to Christopoulos, who dumps it back in for Petrov. Petrov gets it over to Coe. Coe out front gets it to Jackson, but he blocks a shot attempt. And now Morrison gets it over to Winterton. Up to Morrison, and the Bulldogs are going to ice this one 6-4 with the empty net goal. And the Battalion are going to be down 3-0 in this best-of-4 series.
What more to say than Morrison with his second goal of the night, 13th of this playoffs, as the Hamilton Bulldogs close it out with have added a goal here into the empty net to make it a 6-4 game with just under 32 seconds to play here in regulation. A tough game for the North Bay Battalion. They seem to get some life early in that first period with a quick goal in the first 3 minutes of play, but weren't able to hold on to, as that was the only time they led in the game, as a timeout has been called here by the North Bay Battalion, as assistant coach Scott Ray is leaning over the bench, drawing up a play here, trying to get a quick one, as there's only 32 seconds left here to score 2 goals to even things up here.
Well, the Battalion gave it their all, and the Bulldogs still come away with a 6-3 or 6-4 game right now. Sad to see, but that's the difference between depth. And again, like I said earlier, and I've said this off air, I've said this on air, enjoy it while you can, Hamilton. You really pushed all the chips at the table this year. And, if it's anything short of a championship this year for you guys, it'd be a disappointment for sure. But you really sold off the farm, whereas this Battalion team is really built for the future. And as Brady Leavold said, think of all the experience these young players are getting for the Battalion.
And that's exactly it. This North Bay Battalion, like I said, have 9 rookies in the playoffs here, going to the third round. It's a valuable experience that they're going to take with them going forward in their OHL careers.
28 seconds left on the clock. And the Battalion are going to get it up to the neutral zone, and Petrov's going to chip it in. Coe's going to go flying after it against Costatini. Almost got a chance at it, and the puck's going to go back out past the blue line for Winslow. To McDonald. Jackson. That's going to do it for this one with 8 seconds, or not quite yet, as we're going to get an offside call. As Kramer and Jackson decide to mix it up, but Bulldogs are going to skate away with a 3-0 series lead. Game 4 coming Friday here at Memorial Gardens. Yeah,
Nelson getting hit a little up high in the facial area, drawing a little bit of crowd as Jackson coming to his rescue, but neither team being penalized, as just some words being exchanged. So with 7.5 seconds face-off coming outside the Hamilton Bulldogs blue line.
And that's going to do it with this one with 5 seconds as the puck goes back into the Bulldogs zone. And the Bulldogs are going to have a 3-0 lead. Like I said about 5 times now in the last 30 seconds, we're going to get a bit of a scrum after the whistle here. As once again, we've talked about both these teams don't seem to like each other too much, Derek.
No, and especially after 3 games that we've seen here already in this playoffs, that there's still some pushing and shoving going down in behind the Hamilton Bulldogs net, as Petrov being the first one pulled out of the pile. Everybody else has been squared off as the whistles keep going. And the referee holding the Hamilton bench, not allowing them to come out to celebrate until the North Bay Battalion teams or players have left the Hamilton area, as they do so now.
Well, that's going to do it for this one. We're going to have the post-game show with Bob Coles and Derek Lindemann here. And if you want to have your post-game comments of Ryan Houlihan and Jay McKee, check out my article on Bay Today. That's where it'll be within a few minutes post-game. Bulldogs going to skate away with this one 6-4. And we're going to turn things over to Bob Coles for the post-game show. Bob?
A valiant effort by the North Bay Battalion falls short as they lose 2 goals to the Hamilton Bulldogs, but it was a 1-goal game really. An empty netter makes the final 6-4, and Hamilton in great shape heading into Game 4 on Friday night, up 3-0, and will attempt to put a wrap on North Bay's season, while the Battalion will try to force a 5th game for Sunday evening in Hamilton. Just a personal note, really disappointed with the crowd tonight, I got to say, folks. I mean, yes, they were down 2-0 coming in, but 2,400, come on. Like, you got a team in the third round of the OHL playoffs. And hopefully Friday night, if it's the last game for the Battalion this season, show up and support the troops. It's been just a wonderful year, but they're just in too tough right now against the Hamilton Bulldogs, who win it 6-4. The other game tonight, Windsor 4-3 the final, 4-3 for Flint over Windsor, 10:48 left, and that series is tied at 1. The stats in this one, 2-1 after 1 for Hamilton. Each team scored twice in the second, and Hamilton outscored North Bay 6-4 in the third. Shots were 31-29 for Hamilton. Nick Sema getting a star tonight. 31-29 for North Bay. It was 9-5 in the third for the Battalion. They also outshot Hamilton in the second, 14-13, but were outshot 11-8 in the first. Power plays 1 for 5 for the troops, and really that was probably the game. They just didn't get enough on the power play. They had a 4-minute power play. They scored once, but Hamilton 0 for 2. Faceoffs won 39-24. Matvei Petrov opened the scoring his second from Paul Christopoulos and Anthony Romani at 2:42 of the first. Then Avery Hayes scored back-to-back goals, giving him 7 for the playoffs, 5 for the series. And it was 2-1 after 1. The first goal shorthanded. In the second, Mark Duert at 34 seconds made it 3-1, but the Battalion would tie it. Anthony Romani's third from Michael Podolou and Nick Sema. Sema's first playoff goal from Matvei Petrov, his second point, and Tanias Mathurin at 8:05. It was 3-3. Then Logan Morrison got his first of 2, his 12th of the playoffs. Another point for Avery Hayes. Marco Cosentini, the other assist at 11:25. Ryan Winterton made it 5-3, and that was actually the game winner. His 5th playoff goal from Jorian Donovan and Patrick Thomas at 2:34 the third. Brandon Cole made it a 1-goal game, his 7th of the playoffs from Liam Arnsby, a power play goal at 14:24. And 19:28 Morrison, second of the game, 13th of the playoffs from Ryan Winterton and Mason McTavish, an empty netter at 19:28. Third period penalties. George Diaco for tripping for Hamilton at 7:23. Lawson Shirk got a 4-minute penalty for high sticking, but North Bay did not score in the first 2. They did on the last 2. That was at 11:50. Those 2 penalties he got, and North Bay gave it a brave, valiant effort, no doubt about it. Derek, give them credit. They didn't quit. They played hard. Their young guys really started to get a feel for championship level hockey, because this is the round we're in, the third round. But they only had 1 lead tonight again, right? They got the first goal. They gave up back-to-back goals, and they did tie it, but they never took the lead. And Hamilton holds on for the win, and North Bay in tough shape now, down 3-0.
Yeah, it was a different game tonight. They battled hard right from the get-go, getting that early lead, just not able to do much with it or hold on to it. And to me, the big difference was those power plays. North Bay had 5 opportunities, only capitalizing on 1. But every time there was a power play, it seemed like Hamilton was in more control of the puck and had those better scoring chances. North Bay just didn't have the passing, the finesse that the Bulldogs had. Hamilton didn't panic on the penalty kill. When they had the puck, they made sure they tried to create scoring chances first, even when they had the minute or were shorthanded. And if not, they'd throw it back, play catch with the D, and then ice it when the pressure was finally there. To me, it's just the Hamilton Bulldogs just seem to be in a different league right now than the North Bay Battalion.
They did get a power play goal, but they also gave up a shorthanded goal, so they're really, net 0 on 5 power play opportunities in the game. You can't have that in your special teams have to shine through, and so it's a great situation for Hamilton. But and we talked about that in the second intermission. Lessons being learned, right? This is a young team, youngest team in the league. They're learning these playoff lessons that, like I say, it was a valiant effort. They played hard throughout, but it just wasn't their night. And Hamilton, they're just a veteran, savvy team, loaded with talent, and they know how to win these types of games.
And to me, that's the big difference is the difference between having a senior veteran filled team compared to what we see with the North Bay Battalion. These kids are giving it their all. They're trying their best. And what they're learning here in this playoffs, especially this third round, is what it takes to be at that next level, to be a championship quality team in this league. And you look at the way that Romani and Sema played tonight, even though they were down on the fourth line, they were in on 3 out of the 5 goals. They were in on the goals. Both of them picking up goals, going hard to the net. And those are the lessons you're going to learn now as a 16, 17-year-old that are going to stick with you and take you to that next level and win championships down the road.
I thought the Romani, Podolou, Sema line was their best line tonight. I mean, I know that Petrov got a goal and Cole got a power play goal, but overall, I thought that was their best line. They were going for big stretches, right, in the second period. The Coach Houlihan would take them off after a good shift, and then he would put them right back on. And we're seeing Michael Podolou, what kind of player he's going to be as he gets bigger and stronger. And same thing with Romani, showed it for a little longer, and Nick Sema finally, started to play his game, right, using his size to his advantage, using his speed as a skater, and everybody on that line was having a good game tonight.
Yeah, I really like those young guys, and even the goal that Petrov scored, he was on the ice. He was taking that shift with Romani and Sema as they only had the 11 forwards. I thought they were a strong unit, not necessarily dominant, but they were controlling a lot of the play in the offensive zone, creating chances, not just off the rush, but off of moving the puck around the offensive zone and just creating room and space for themselves to get scoring chances. And that's what is really important, is when you look at those kids and seeing how well they're performing.
Did you feel Mitchell Russell's absence from a leadership perspective tonight, do you think?
I don't think nearly as much from a leadership. I think more from just that scoring punch, giving them a little bit more depth. I think that's what he really brings is that depth, and not necessarily leadership, but scoring punch and just a little bit more weapons that are at the disposal of Houlihan.
Well, no one likes to be swept, certainly not at home. So I'm sure where do the Battalion go from here? We asked that question at the beginning of the broadcast. After being shut out in Game 2, 5-0, and we said just compete, right? And I think that'll be the message for Game 4 on Friday night.
Yeah, and really I like the battle in that third period, and knowing that they were down 2, they still battled, and that's what you got to take to that Game 4. Is knowing that you still have to play that game. You can't just roll over and let the Hamilton Bulldogs walk out of here with a full 4-game sweep. If you can come out, battle hard, possibly come away with a victory, maybe somehow crawl your way back into it, but the key is come out Friday night and battle right from the start.
Yeah, folks, come out Friday night, see the Battalion at least one more time this season, and who knows? Of course, Hamilton will want to finish them off and get some rest for the OHL final, which probably won't start until late next week. Flint and Windsor are playing Game 3 tonight. They'll have Game 4 Friday and Game 5 Sunday. So that series is tied at 1, and a tight 1-goal game when we last checked tonight in Game 3. So obviously Hamilton wants to get it done right on Friday and start thinking about the next round.
And that's the thing, is Hamilton knows that if they can get through this round quickly, that any little minor injuries or nagging hurts or that, they can rest up and get ready for that next round against either Windsor or Flint. That's going to be a drag-out series, and Hamilton just has that building and that size that they need to win this OHL championship and make a run at the Memorial Cup if they can get there.
Of course, Derek, we look at Hamilton's lineup tonight. Duarte got a goal. Winterton got a goal. Morrison got a couple of goals. Hayes got a couple of goals. Just the depth through the lineup, right? They get production from everybody, and that's just shown, and their experience too, right? They on the back end as well as in goal. Not so much tonight, maybe, but offensively they're deep.
Yeah, and one guy that we really don't even talk about much is Nathan Staios, who won Eastern Conference Defenseman of the Year. And he gets so much overlooked by being on that team with when you see Jacky and Kamer up on the top line, White controlling that power play. Nathan Staios is a steady defenseman who plays his position well and just doesn't get the recognition that he deserves in that lineup.
Yeah, Jacky getting a lot of the headlines, and deservedly so. Grushnikov, of course, is very strong. He can play the physical game. And, White you mentioned, and so just the depth of this team. So what's it going to be like Friday night? I mean, North Bay's down 3-0. They want to keep their season alive, but, realistically it could be the last home game this season. So what do you think the atmosphere is going to be Friday night?
Well, I'm hoping, first of all, that there's a ton more fans in here, making it loud and proud to be a North Bay Battalion. Let those kids out there on the ice know that the city has their back and will support them. Come out right from the get-go and fight right from that opening puck drop. Play a solid 60 minutes and let everything out on the ice that you have. Possibly your last game of this season. Leave it all out on the ice.
Well, Derek, you've left it in the booth all year, and I know you won't be with us Friday night, so it's been a blast working with you, and hopefully we'll get a 6th game. But if we don't, it's been a good ride with you this hockey season.
Sure, thanks a lot, Bob. It is always great talking about the North Bay Battalion and what an exciting future this team has. Even if they don't make it further this year, there's a bright future ahead for this team.
Okay, Derek, and we're going to put a wrap on this game. Hamilton wins Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, 6-4. Don't forget, Game 4 will be Friday night. We'll be on the air for your game day broadcast, possibly our final broadcast of the year at 6:50. But come to the Gardens Friday night. Go out for dinner after work and come to the game and cheer on the Battalion as they try to force a 5th game in this Eastern Conference Final. We got to thank Ben Long, our producer, who's kept us on the air even though he's wrapping up all the equipment. Thanks, Ben, for that. Courtney Kenny on the call. Of course, Matt Sukram will be here Friday, and I'm Bob Coles. Again, the final 6-4. The North Bay Battalion fall to the Hamilton Bulldogs. I'm Bob Coles. Good night from Memorial Gardens.